We welcome you to West Palm Beach, Florida, where this afternoon the Houston Astros will play as the home team for the first time in the 2017 spring training schedule from the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. And, Jeff, today the Miami Marlins are in town, and they bring a lot of their A guys from their lineup. D. Gordon's in there, Giancarlo Stanton's in there, Marcell Ozuna's in there. Kind of a good test for the first two pitchers we'll see for the Astros.
No, I think it's a great test, and it's also a testament to the location of this ballpark that allows some of these teams to have a little bit shorter commute, and it affects some of these veteran guys that are going to be in the lineup every day. They don't mind making that 45-minute trip to come down and play in a place like that. That's why you're going to see these top-of-the-line lineups. But I think early on in spring, we're getting the luxury of seeing some very good, talented lineups, but we're also getting a chance to have these guys compete like Davinsky and Martez today.
Now, what about those two guys we'll see at the top?
You're going to see Francis Martez, who's going to go out there, a top prospect that came over in the Ken Giles trade. He's a big guy. He's not going to impress you with the athleticism that he looks like, but he is a very good pitcher. Very good arm, throws in the mid-90s, has a devastating breaking ball, and is working on that changeup. Davinsky, an interesting guy because a lot of people want to see him in that starting rotation, but they also want to see what he can do out of the bullpen where he was so highly successful. If he moves into that starting rotation, he's going to have to develop that third pitch. It could be that breaking ball for him, but he was great out of the bullpen. 12 outings out of his 43 out of the bullpen were of 3 innings plus. So he has been stretched out and knows how to maintain himself.
Second inning, we'll hear from the manager, AT Hinch. Also, the owner, Jim Crane, will join us on the broadcast, and a special guest with some ties to the Miami Marlins, Carl Pavano. All that coming up as we bring you the Miami Marlins and the Houston Astros from West Palm Beach, Florida. First pitch right around the corner. Astros baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Whataburger. Whataburger's Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich has returned, but only for a limited time. A little bit overcast, but very comfortable day here in West Palm Beach as we welcome you to Game 2 in the history of the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. This will be the first Astros home game. Yesterday, they were the road team along with their complex mates, the Washington Nationals. Here's the Miami Marlins lineup, and they will start with D. Gordon at the top, second baseman. Martin Prado will be at third. Christian Yelich playing in center field now. Giancarlo Stanton is the DH. Justin Bour at first base. Marcell Ozuna in right field. Derek Dietrich will get the start in left field. Austin Nola is behind the plate. And Miguel Rojas will be at shortstop today for Don Mattingly. And the man they will face today on the mound to start things off is Chris Davinsky, and with more on him, we take it to Julian Morales.
Hey, Todd. Yeah, you know, coming into spring training, one of the questions I started asking everyone, started digging at a little bit, who's going to be this year's Chris Davinsky at spring training? Someone we weren't really talking about, and he said it himself. I was an underdog last year. Came on the scene, did such a great job for this team, ended up being one of the team MVPs last year for how many important innings he pitched and how well he did there. But this is a new spring training for him with a little bit of experience under his belt. He's hoping to not just be in the starting rotation or to be valuable again. He wants to make that opening day roster, something he missed out last year by just a couple of days. He was one of the first call-ups of the year, Todd.
And what a call-up he became. He was good the rest of the way. As you mentioned, his accolades last year, quite a season for the 26-year-old right-hander as he'll make the start today. Todd Cowles alongside Jeff Blum. We will hear from Carl Pavano in the booth as this game continues, and also AJ Hinch will join us along with the owner, Jim Crane. A lot going on in the early parts of this game, and first pitch from Chris Davinsky is a little bit outside to D. Gordon, and we are underway on a Wednesday afternoon from West Palm Beach. Davinsky, a guy who did so well out of the bullpen last year, Blummer, that you wonder, where does he fit in this year? Do you keep him there? Do you look at him as a starting option?
It's a good question. He's got the stuff to do it. He had 5 starts last year, but made a majority of his work out of the bullpen with those 43 appearances, and you see how good those numbers are, and it's tough to pull a guy out of a position where he was so successful.
Davinsky, a quick worker. He's behind in the count 3-1 to the leadoff hitter, D. Gordon. Miami Marlins come in town with a 1-3 early spring training record. The Astros have a 2-2 mark after losing yesterday in walk-off fashion. The Washington Nationals winning on a Michael Taylor 2-out walk-off home run. The 3-2 pitch is fouled. Max Stassi gives it a look, but it will be out of play about 4 rows deep. As it turns out, yesterday, the game was going to end at the end of the 9th inning. So it's either going to be a tie game. AJ Hinch had already sent the word over to Dusty Baker of the Nationals. It was either going to be a tie game or something in the bottom of the 9th had to happen, and Michael Taylor made sure it did.
Yeah, that was a pretty good bomb.
It was. It was an impressive shot. 3-2 pitch. That ball's laced to left field. Wind is blowing out to left again, and Carlos Beltran can't get there. And one hops against the fence, and D. Gordon with a leadoff double.
Ball, not a terrible pitch from Devo, trying to work that outside corner. I think that's where the Astros alignment was in the outfield, but with that slashing swing and the contribution from the wind, it just snuck past the glove of Carlos Beltran out there in left field.
Beltran playing in the outfield for the first time this spring. He had a chance to DH yesterday, went 1 for 2, including his second at-bat home run that gave the Astros a 2-1 lead. Here's Martin Prado swinging and fouling one away, 0-1. We'll hear from AJ Hinch, talk a little bit about Carlos Beltran playing in the outfield today. There are going to be lots of combinations AJ Hinch can go with this season in the outfield.
No, the signing of Nori Aoki out there, platoon with Jake Marisnick. Carlos Beltran can go out there and create open space, maybe to get Gaddis and McCann in the lineup at the same time if they find that need.
Slow ground ball past the mound. Correa will make the play to first. On the move to third goes D. Gordon on the ground out. Today's keys to the game are brought to you by Toyota. Blummer, what do you have for us?
Well, the biggest thing is playing with a purpose. We know that spring training is a time for you to go out there and get your work in. You're mostly on the backfields trying to work out kinks in your swing, maybe find a release point if you're a pitcher. But when you come into the game, play with a purpose and use that if you can. And the next two, pretty much self-explanatory. Everybody that comes into spring training, the keys are to stay healthy and get out of spring training without an injury.
Christian Yelich, the number 3 hitter, fouls one down the left field line. Beltran gives it a look, and he makes the catch. That'll score a run on the foul ball that is caught by Beltran.
As soon as I say stay healthy and don't get hurt, he goes into a wall down there in a facility that just opened yesterday. Carlos Beltran making the play out there in left field. Nicely done for the second out, but at the same time, good base running by D. Gordon, recognizing the opportunity to tag.
There you see Beltran making the play. It was kind of a tough call, too, because he knows the run's going to score if he makes the catch. It is spring training. It is the first inning. You're not going to get a chance to play much in the outfield. So right now, it's maybe not as much about the strategy as it is try and make the plays when you can.
Yeah, and it's tough to turn down outs. You'd rather sacrifice an out for a run as opposed to dropping that, maybe a 2-run jack.
Especially with this guy due up behind you.
Yeah.
Giancarlo Stanton. Nobody has a higher exit velocity on average in the game of baseball than this guy.
So you're saying physique translates into exit velocity?
Oh, my goodness. I think we saw that in the home run derby at Petco Park last year.
Did he not make that just too easy? It just looked amazingly easy.
He did.
I mean, lasers.
He made everybody else look like they were hitting with a softer bat because he just hit bomb after bomb. This year, he's got the home field advantage. He's going to be, assuming he'll be in the home run derby regardless, he's going to be at home at Marlins Park where this year's All-Star game will be held.
As long as he's able to put a uniform on and swing a bat, he's going to be in the home run derby.
Hopefully for a long time, because he makes it more exciting than anybody there is. It's unbelievable the distance he hits home runs. 3-2 the count to Giancarlo Stanton.
When I was coming up in the late 90s, it was, it was the Barry Bondses, it was the Sammy Sosas, Mark McGuire's. Those are guys that you would sit on the bench and watch take BP just because of that prodigious pop.
Tried to check his swing and fouls it away.
This is that guy.
I saw the 96 home run derby at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, and it was Bonds versus McGuire. And McGuire hit home runs in that stadium into the 600 level, which is the second from the top. That had never been done before.
It just doesn't make sense.
Stanton stays alive on a foul ball at the plate.
Yeah, these guys throw physics out the window because they can overwhelm a baseball.
Last year, as Stassi maybe took one off the mask there on that foul ball. Last year, Giancarlo Stanton wore that little face guard and kind of went away from it at the end of the year. Now he has that little extended guard area without the mask on the left side. He was hit by a pitch the year before, and he will draw a walk after an 8-pitch at bat. So Davinsky so far, a double, ground out, sacrifice fly, and walk. There you see that guard protecting his left jaw. Marlins bringing their A lineup today. Davinsky getting a good test. He'll face Justin Bour here. Pitch is a called strike, says Paul Nart, home plate umpire. Also, we have CB Bucknor back for a second straight day, Andy Fletcher, and Lance Barksdale. Davinsky ahead, 0-2.
It's that Brent Strom location we've been talking about for years. He loves using that upper part of the strike zone. Now it's been expanded up a little bit.
Dropped a changeup in for a called third strike. Davinsky gets a strikeout to end the first. Marlins take the lead on a sacrifice fly by Christian Yelich. 1-0 heading to the bottom of the first. Bottom half of the first inning, part of the team store here that is shared by both the Marlins, it's shared by both the Nationals and the Houston Astros, as these two teams share the same complex. Marlins in the field now as the Astros come to the plate for the first time. And George Springer will lead things off for AT Hinch in center field. Carlos Beltran getting a chance to play in the outfield today. Carlos Correa in the 3 spot, playing shortstop. Josh Reddick in right field is the cleanup hitter. Evan Gattis DHing. Max Stassi behind the plate. Originally, that was going to be Brian McCann. A little bit ill today, so Stassi gets the start. Yuli Gurriel is at first base. Marwin Gonzalez at second. Colin Moran at third. And this lineup will face the right-hander, 30-year-old Tom Kohler.
See what Tom Kohler did last season, 33 starts. He's actually been a great iron horse for the Miami Marlins. Hasn't put up phenomenal numbers, but he's a guy that they have been able to count on. And 175 plus innings per year. Goes out there and makes consistent starts, but he does give up a lot of hits. In 176 and 2/3 innings last season, he gave up about 170 hits. So he is a guy that's going to pitch to contact and use that defense behind him.
See that opponent's average of 261 in the top 10 in terms of the highest opponent's batting average in the National League. George Springer will lead things off for the Astros. Whole new look in the outfield today. Springer will lead off where he was primarily last year for the Astros, their leadoff hitter. Takes a called strike, 0-1. Day 2 at home, if you will, for the Astros. Even though they were the visiting team, they will play the Nationals tomorrow and be the home team. Those two teams will play frequently this spring, and the Astros will always be on the third base dugout, the Nationals on the first base side. And today they welcome in the Miami Marlins. Pitch inside to Springer. It's 2-1. Tom Koehler, one of the keys in this rotation for the Marlins, and it's a Marlins rotation that is certainly reeling from the loss of their ace Jose Fernandez, tragically killed in a boating accident at the end of last season. Two-one pitch grounded past the mound. D. Gordon up the middle makes it look easy and retires Springer for the first out. Marlins fans are happy to see D. Gordon back in the lineup. He's been dealing with a little pink eye. That is never fun.
That is not, yeah, that's not something you want to show up in a spring training as a hitter and have something wrong where it ruins your visibility. The other thing is, I'm sure that Don Mattingly's dealing with it. You put 60 guys in one clubhouse, and one guy gets a stomach virus, one guy gets pink eye. Guess who else gets it? Everybody
else. 59. Gordon's been hanging out on his own. He's been told until just the last day or so to stay away from the rest of the guys.
Yeah, so you need an isolation chamber inside the clubhouse when that happens.
Here's Carlos Beltran. Beltran hitting lefty against Tom Koehler. Hit his first home run of the year in his second at bat of the spring yesterday. Hit that right-handed. Beltran, like the guy hitting behind him, Carlos Correa, will be here through Saturday, and then they'll be heading out to the World Baseball Classic to play for Team Puerto Rico. 3-0 the count as Koehler falls behind Beltran. General manager for Team Puerto Rico is in the Astros dugout as well, Alex Cora. Edwin Rodriguez, who has ties to the Marlins, former manager of the Fish, will be managing that team. .3-0 green light, fouled away by Beltran.
Just to give you an idea of how good that Puerto Rican team is going to be, I think Francisco Lindor is going to be their shortstop, and their third baseman, it possibly could be Carlos Correa.
Wow.
Isn't that pretty good?
How about a middle infield of those two guys and Javier Baez?
That's true. Yeah, Javier Baez. Go ahead and throw him into the mix. I mean, my goodness.
Just misses the corner. Koehler thought he caught a strike, but not so, says Paul Nart. And Carlos Beltran draws the walk. There is Carlos Correa. So he may see some time at third, huh?
Yeah, I think so. They're going to have to manipulate that lineup to get those guys in there because, you know, offensively, those guys deserve to be in there. And that's a pretty good list of Astros going to the World Baseball Classic. Nori Aoki is already taking some time off on his way to Japan.
Nori spending a couple of days with his family prior to the workouts. Nori Aoki is the only major leaguer playing for Japan this year. The rest are from the Nippon Japanese League. And here is Carlos Correa. Well, the one thing with Correa is you know he is going to be ready for this World Baseball Classic. It seems like he likes the stage. The bigger the stage, the guys that are superstars seem to perform at a high level.
Yeah, Correa is built for that. I mean, his pedigree, the schooling, the teaching. He's 22 years old. He's probably the most polished shortstop that we've seen in the American League.
But you're saying Lindor might play short.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. That's what's crazy about the depth that Puerto Rico has to work with right now.
Here's a ball in the dirt, and Kohler's having trouble with the strike zone. He missed 4 out of 5 to Beltran, and now behind 2-0 to Carlos Correa. There's a foul back to the screen. Well, we were talking about the health. That was one of your keys to the game. And yesterday we saw an Astros pitcher leave the game, Will Harris. But from all reports from Will himself and from the training staff and from A.J. Hinch, it seems like a very minor situation.
Yeah, thankfully, just a little bit of a tweak that he felt, but a good choice getting him out of there early in spring training. But I don't think they said that it's going to alter his throwing program at all.
Called strike on the inner half, 2-2. Kohler, 4-seamer, slider, curveball, changeup, while also mixing a 2-seamer. Mostly fastball, slider, curveball. Threw an inning Saturday in the exhibition season debut for the Marlins. Went 1 inning, did not allow a run, struck out 1 on 1 hit. Ground ball left side, Prado to Gordon. Nice turn around the horn by the Marlins, and that'll do it for Houston in the bottom half of the first inning. So the Marlins lead at the end of 1-0. We'll hear from A.J. Hinch in the top half of the second inning. Marlins leading the Astros 1-0, and we are pleased to be joined by the manager of the Houston Astros for the top of the second, A.J. Hinch. A.J., how are you today?
I'm doing all right. I get to watch Chris Davinsky throw his second inning, so I'm pretty fired up.
21 first-inning pitches, a leadoff double that eventually scored. Devo's getting a chance to show himself as a starter today, kind of a unique situation as well as he did in the bullpen this year. Where do you see him as the spring continues?
Yeah, it depends a little bit on him and a little bit on the rest of our staff. I mean, obviously the talk of camp is the health of Keuchel and McCullers. Morton's coming off of a short season. McHugh hasn't started yet, so we're giving ourselves as many options as possible to start games. Devo can really do anything. I just want him in games. I really think he can help us in the rotation, help us in the pen, but something feels good when you have Davinsky on the mound.
Now, with Devo out there starting, in a perfect world, would you pull him out of a situation where he was so comfortable last year in the bullpen, taking the baseball, and put him into that rotation?
It's sort of short-term and long-term. You know, everybody wants to be a starter. Like most guys that come up, they start in the minor leagues, then all of a sudden they get to the big leagues, and we got to put them in a position one way or the other. But the thing about Davinsky, I mean, how he fits in the puzzle is very unique, because I can pitch him in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. And feel good about it 3 or 4 days a week. Otherwise, he's only pitching once every 5 days. So Tough call on his long-term career. He has a chance to start. That's what guys like to do. On this particular team, at our best, he's probably more of a bullpen option.
3-2 the count to the leadoff hitter Marcell Ozuna here in the top half of the second inning. AJ, you got a chance as Ozuna hits one into shallow left center field. Carlos Beltran comes over and makes the play, which leads me to my question. Of course, your first inning, you play Beltran out there. He gets 2 difficult plays. How much do you want to get Carlos out in the outfield this spring? And as we carry forward, how many games are you comfortable with him playing in the outfield?
No, I think he's had enough. I think he's good for the spring. I told him I said, I'm going to bat you second to get you 2 at-bats in a hurry so we can get you off the field. And then after the first inning, I said, you sure you want 2 at-bats? Do you want just 1 at-bat now that you've had more baseballs hit at you than you're probably going to have the rest of the camp? But we're doing well getting him some. I said, hey, by the way, I forgot to tell you, Davinsky gives up a lot of fly balls to left field. And he says, no kidding.
Well, and spring training is a different animal because these are open-air stadiums. Usually during the regular season, you've got some coverage with the stands going a little bit higher. The stadiums are bigger. But, I mean, you threw them right into the fire.
Well, in this field, and we've been here a whole 24 hours, but this field, if you hit the ball to left, you got a chance. Like, this ball flies to left field, so we got to play a little bit deep. I think there'll be some left-handed hitters that try to hit the ball that way and some right-handed hooking. So we'll adjust to the part.
What is the plan in left field as far as, because you've got Nori Aoki, you've got Jake Marisnick, and now you've got Carlos Beltran possibly in the mix. What's the rotation going to look like out there?
Yeah, I mean, primarily I want to go with Aoki and Beltran, and depending on Beltran DH, it opens up the DH spot if I put him in left. Jake's going to move around the field, and I think what we're seeing on this team in particular is the bench players are pretty strong. Not saying we weren't as strong in the last couple seasons, but there's something different about having Aoki or Marwin Gonzalez off the bench, or Gaddis is a potential bat off the bench if he's not DHing. Those are good problems to have, and I'm more apt to give some days off to guys for Marwin, for Aoki, and then obviously I'll mix in Jake in there in center field for George, or maybe a tough left-handed pitcher for Reddick. So it's a good problem to have if we're healthy and we're intact. I got a lot of options.
Are there options that include, you mentioned Marisnick moving all around the outfield, that include Reddick in left too?
Yeah, especially when I put Jake in the lineup, and I put him in center field. I might have him, do some things and move George to right, move Reddick back to left. So the good thing is all these guys can really play everywhere. I won't move Beltran around. I'm going to leave him in left field and DH, but for the most part, the configuration, I've got to figure out how to put it all together, because sometimes in the ballparks that have big left fields like Anaheim, or even some of the, even Texas a little bit has a. I might want Jake out there in left field. It's like a second center fielder.
Are we going to lose you after this batter?
Maybe not this batter, but it's gonna move pretty closely. I'm going to tell Strami to get somebody going here. We don't really want to overextend guys, but we do want to make sure that we let Devo get going a little bit.
You have to tell Strami something. Take the headsets off. Yeah, go ahead. We've got Chris Davinsky working the second inning, and he's 35 pitches in. So AJ Hinch good enough to join us here during the broadcast, but also has to relay some information to his pitching coach Brent Strom. Looks like Francis Martes might be the next pitcher we see. And
not in the middle of the inning, you won't.
Okay.
But he is going to pitch the next inning if we can get out of this little mess.
Gotcha.
Or one pitch away, double play.
There you go.
Always.
There you see double barrel action.
Give us a little scouting report on Francis Martes.
I'm looking forward to seeing him. He's got an electrifying arm. He's got a pretty good changeup and a decent curveball, but he's a little bit about power and a little bit about coming right at the hitter. Extremely aggressive mindset. Got a great arm and knows it. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Obviously won't see his best stuff, right out of the chute, but pretty intrigued by this guy. He reminds me a little bit of 2 years ago when we were hearing about Lance McCullers potentially coming up, and lo and behold, in May, we brought McCullers up. He ended up making a playoff start. It's a little delay of the game going right here.
Strami.
Yeah. He's going to give Thornton some. Got a young kid named Trent Thornton that's warming up as a backup. Some of the guys that aren't in big league camp but are in this mini camp in the minor leagues, specifically for stuff like this where we can have them over here as backups. We've seen a couple infielders, Sierra and Mott Hyde and Jack Mayfield's here. So they're not in big league camp, but they're sort of on call.
Thank goodness, because I did not know who 99 was. If you were not on the broadcast with us just now, we would not have known. It was kind of like the Albert Minnis moment, although we had a heads up on Minnis yesterday, the 82, who got into the game when Will Harris left.
Will Harris, yeah.
Yeah, but thank you. Appreciate it.
I just got to make sure I know him, too. I'm kidding.
No, I know. Tell fans a little bit how that works, because these guys are on the minor league backfields, and they come up basically for emergency situations like this, right?
They do, and they really want any opportunity. And some of them aren't quite ready to have the full bore big league camp, or maybe they're younger kids that we don't want to start them off in early February. But I mean, they go right from the car that drives across country that ends up in spring training facility right into the game. So we don't really ramp them up quite as slowly as we do our major league players, but they love it when they get in there.
That ball is smoked towards left center field and all the way out of this park for a home run. 3-run shot for Miguel Rojas, and it's now a 4-0 Marlins lead.
I'll be right back.
All right, that is AJ Hinch taking his headset off because he is going to take Chris Davinsky out of the game. After that 3-run home run, Davinsky will last 1 1/3 inning and allow 4 runs on a couple of hits. A walk, a hit batsman, and a 3-run home run.
Now, you got to play a little bit of psychologist right here if you're AJ Hinch going out there early in spring. Devo's got a game plan, and they always want to go out there and complete their mission when they go out there. It just doesn't go that way every time, but still early in spring. And again, the numbers don't count.
All right, it's 4-0. As we heard from AJ Hinch, Trent Thornton will be our next pitcher. We'll tell you more about him when we come back. It's 4-0 Marlins. Four nothing ball game in the top half of the second inning. Chris Davinsky's afternoon is over. AJ Hinch has made the pitching change and back with us. And the new pitcher is Trent Thornton, a right-hander who takes over here in the second inning. AJ, you guys, I guess, have most of your guys. We talked to you yesterday about the 8 players in the WBC. Most of your guys will be around. Obviously, Nori Aoki not here, but till the end of the week, Saturday, Sunday, most guys take it.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that are going to leave on the 6th and not play. The guys that are going west to Arizona to train. So that'll be Beltran and Correa and Altuve. Will leave early. Bregman's going to play on the 6th and then get over to Fort Myers where Team USA is going to train. So it'll be a little bit of a different camp for us when you talk about the 8 players that are going to be gone, specifically in the infield. We're going to see some infield configurations you're not going to recognize.
George Springer out there in center field. I know that is his natural position. Talk to us a little bit about, was he excited about it? Is he anxious about it? And how often is he going to play out there?
Yeah, he's pretty excited about it. You know, he came up a center fielder and very similar. I mean, everybody wants to be a shortstop. Everybody wants to play center. Everybody wants to be a starting pitcher. And George, you know, the reason they moved him off of before I got here was just configuration of the team. I mean, he's more than capable of being a center fielder. He's physical. He's strong. He's great jumps. Got a good arm. He's used to used to playing out there for the most part till he got to the big leagues. And then now I'd like him to play there every day, depending on where Jake Marisnick fits in. So the good thing is, he got Gold Glove votes in right field. We have a Gold Glove right fielder in Josh Reddick. So that it's really just about how it fits together, not so much whether these guys can handle these positions.
Trent Thornton comes in and gets a strikeout. First batter he ever faces. on a bunt.
Well, D. Gordon was so afraid of him, he tried to lay down a bunt with 2 strikes.
We saw Minnis yesterday in his spring training debut. He had to warm up in front of the whole crowd. That had to be a little unnerving.
There's nothing better than meeting these kids on the mound during a game, saying, "Hi, I'm AJ. Nice to meet you. Get these last 2 outs for me, will you?"
Oh, by the way, get D. Gordon and Martin Prado. And he does so. Good move, AJ.
Yeah, well, some moves work out, don't they, boys?
Yeah. All right, well, we appreciate you joining us today.
We'll see you later.
Thanks, AJ.
AJ Hinch joining us here at the top half of the second inning. Marlins score 3 and lead it 4-0.
I'm
It was 4-0 heading to the bottom half of the second inning. Single game tickets for the Astros go on sale this Friday. Get your tickets to see incredible matchups such as the Astros home opener against the Seattle Mariners and games against the Yankees, Red Sox, and Rangers. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. March 3rd, mark it down. Get your tickets on Friday. Josh Reddick will get his first at bat of the afternoon. We did not see him yesterday in the game, had the day off. Josh is 1 for 3 in the young spring. We'll see Reddick, the DH Evan Gattis, and the catcher Max Stassi in the second inning against Tom Kohler. Kohler allowed a 1-out walk to Carlos Beltran, but that was wiped out by a double play off the bat of Carlos Correa. We thank AJ Hinch for joining us on the broadcast. What an entertaining half inning when he's on.
You know what? He, as good as he is, I'm thoroughly disappointed in him this time.
Why?
He wore me out yesterday, and I got nothing today. I told him to keep it coming.
We got him in an inning where he was getting pitchers warm. He was making, he maybe was not as laser focused on picking on you as he was yesterday.
Yeah, I'm still disappointed though, man. We got to step that game up. That was a good time. No, he's great, and he's extremely friendly to us, but he knows the game so well, and he imparts almost too much information, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I don't think we could ever have enough from.
He's one of those baseball minds. You could literally sit there and talk for hours with him, and you'd learn something new, and he's also willing to learn something from you.
And we really appreciate him taking the time, especially when he's got pitching changes in the middle of the inning and comes back on headset. We're going to hear from the owner, Jim Crane, as well. That'll be coming up in the third inning. Right now, it's Tom Kohler on the mound, behind in the count 3-0 on Josh Reddick. We have seen all 3-0 green lights. This is spring training, so really no reason to try and work a walk if you want to get your hack. See if Reddick's taking the whole way, though, and takes a called strike. Wind is blowing out again today to left field and against the left-handed hitters. We saw all the home runs, Derek Norris, Carlos Beltran, and then the game winner, Michael Taylor, all leave to left yesterday. And there's ball 4. Josh Reddick draws a walk. Speaking of Josh, he's not the only new outfielder for the Houston Astros this 2017 season.
No, you got Nori Aoki out there. You heard about him platooning in left field, getting a majority of the time. Carlos Beltran, another guy, seasoned veteran, may not see that much time in the outfield, but will be a steady force in that lineup in the DH spot. But it's going to be interesting to see how Josh Reddick mixes in there. A lot of the talk is hits right-handers well, scuffles a little bit in his career, hitting .218 off left-handed pitching. But there are options, and we've seen that over the last couple of years with A.J. Hinch, with the ability to have a majority of center fielders playing every outfield position. So there is plenty of coverage out there with those guys that they've added along with the current guys they do have in Springer and Marisnick.
You like the style with Reddick's wristbands?
I do.
Or
Did
the
you
wrist
notice
wraps, the wrist
I
wraps?
stole it from him? Yeah. Well, they call it TV tape, so I figured I'm on TV. I should wear the TV tape.
Plummer did the Open, for those who didn't see it, with the exact same look, other than the batting gloves, as Josh Reddick with the TV. They call it TV tape?
TV tape, power bands. Yeah. It's all for show.
You were showing. Evan Gattis, the hitter.
I use that to distract everybody from my lack of talent.
It's a pop foul, or pop up on the infield, rather. Justin Bohr will make the play. It is a foul ball, but Gattis is retired for the first out. So that'll bring up the catcher today getting a start. He wasn't originally supposed to start, but you mentioned earlier Brian McCann not feeling well, so Max Stassi, Julia's post-game guest after yesterday's game, is the hitter here with 1 out and 1 on. Stassi with a home run this spring. In fact, he hit the first Astros home run of the 2017 spring training schedule when he hit a opposite field 2-run home run against the Braves Sunday in Orlando. Kissimmee, to be exact, Disney property. Pitch down low, 1-0.
Gary Pettis, third base coach for the Houston Astros.
I like that he sent the runner in the 9th inning, even though a good throw gets him. You force especially 3-3 spring training game, you force the defense to make a play.
Yeah, spring training are going to be a little bit more aggressive. You're going to see what guys can do, how they react and make those turns to home plate. And it's a good way for the third base coach, I think, in spring training to recognize players in the outfield for the opposing team, but at the same time understand the runners he's working with throughout spring. But Gary Pettis, for me, on a whole, since covering this team, is a highly aggressive guy at third base. But he's also got incredibly talented base runners who have a lot of speed. So he forces the issue. And he's one of those guys that believes in making the defense play defense, forcing them to make the plays.
If you're not going to have a third base coach who's right down the middle, you'd rather have a guy who errs towards aggressiveness.
Absolutely. It's a tough exchange. You got to field the ground ball cleanly in the outfield. You got to make a strong throw and have the catcher receive it and be able to get a firm grip on it and put a good tag down.
Stassi with a foul ball down the right field line. We're going to see Francis Martis next inning, top half of the third. You heard A.J. Hinch talk about that young right-hander. That will be an exciting half inning to watch. This is the most highly touted prospect in the Astros organization.
Highly touted, and I blew it up when I was talking about in the Open and the pregame hit that we had with the guys back in the studio with Martez coming over from the Phillies. He did not. He came over from the Miami Marlins in I believe, the Jared Cozart trade. But with the trade of Mark Appel going to the Philadelphia Phillies, opened up a spot and kind of moved Martez up that prospect list. But in listening to A.J. Hinch and comparing him to Lance McCullers, we know what Lance has done when he burst onto the scene. If we can have another arm like that in the organization, you're in good shape.
I'm looking forward to seeing that power curve.
Yes.
There are no power curves like Lance McCullers, but I've heard this Francis Martez power curve is a pretty special one also.
Well, when you say power curve and you say Lance McCullers and his curveball / slider, that's a word. There's a phrase in there that the Astros organization loves to use, and it's called spin rate. Those are high spin rate guys that create those good power breaking balls.
I heard about spin rate when there was an impromptu interview being done pregame. Colin McHugh was interviewing Lance McCullers, and they got discussing spin rate. So we'll check out the spin rate on the curveball of Mr. Martez. Yeah, that trade with the Marlins back in July of 2014. Jake Marisnick, Colin Moran, who's in the lineup today, and a competitive balance round A pick for Jared Cozart, Kike Hernandez, and Austin Waits. That was back in July of 2014. So we are being told that interview may make our air today.
I like it.
McHugh and McCullers.
You get to see some of the personality in spring training.
Yes.
It's a little bit looser. Not as much intensity being put into these ball games. Yes, they're going out and working, but at the same time, if they find an opportunity to show a little bit of the lighter side and a little more personality, they go ahead and take advantage of it. I think McHugh and McCullers went ahead and did that.
Strikeout on the move goes Josh Reddick. He'll pick up a stolen base on the strikeout. 2 outs. Let's listen in on a little interview pregame. McCullers with McHugh.
coming to you here from West Palm Beach, from the beautiful ballpark of the Palm Beaches. I'm here with Astros starting pitcher Lance McCullers. Lance, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about spring training. How have things been going so far? How many haircuts have you gotten so far?
I've only had 2 haircuts this far.
We've been here 2 weeks. He's had 2 haircuts.
No. I got one before I came, and then one while I've been here. So.
Wow, crawfishing already. Well, it's really good to have you here. Throwing-wise, we're excited to see you on the mound soon. How's throwing been going so far?
Yeah, it's been going great. I'm 2 lives deep. I have my last sim game on Saturday, and then hopefully getting some games here.
Great. So we're looking forward to seeing some curveballs. Obviously. Lance McCullers is one of the highest spin rates in all of baseball and curveballs.
Fun known fact. Fun fact. I'm second. Well, last year I was first, but I'm second to Garrett Richards, usually. But it's going to change this year.
Wow. You heard it here first, fellas. You heard it here first. Well, we're excited to have you. One more thing before we get going here today. Favorite baseball player growing up?
Favorite baseball player growing up was probably Barry Bonds and Robinson Cano.
His dad played in the big leagues, so sorry.
Not when I was growing up.
Sorry, Lance Sr. But yes, great to have you. Back to you in the booth.
Yes.
Nicely done, boys. Yuli Gurriel has given the Astros their first run of the game, a base hit up the middle. That'll score Josh Reddick. So Gurriel with an RBI, and it's now a 4-1 game. We're in trouble.
Oh, man, you're good. I'm in trouble.
No, we're both in trouble.
Man, no, that's good stuff. Colin is a highly cerebral guy, and you know what's funny is he pays attention to everything. He went from haircuts to spin rates to favorite baseball players, so he's done his homework on Lance.
I like, and we see the base hit up the middle by Gurriel for the first run. I like the fact that he was kind of, looking for that final question to go to, and he came up with it. Yeah, he set him up.
Set him up. He knew what he was doing.
But the 2 haircuts in 2 weeks, that's a good ratio.
I think that Lance McCullers' barber uses a laser leveler to get that line straight on his skull, man. It's amazing.
Pitch is inside to Marwin Gonzalez.
I'm just disappointed that the product question didn't come up. I'm a big product guy in my hair.
Yeah.
I want to know what Lance uses because it is clean and it is tight every time he's out there without a hat on.
But here's the reason he doesn't ask is probably because Colin's not a big product guy.
Oh, man, how are you not keeping that helmet in shape?
That was good stuff. That was random, not planned.
Yeah.
Colin McHugh picking up a microphone. Saw the Root Sports mic there and just doing a little one-on-one interview with.
And throwing it back to us.
I love that.
He knows what he's doing. That's frightening.
Yeah, we may have to make that
I am no longer talking to him.
Yo, this is my job we're talking about. I actually offered it up, so it's my fault for
you told him to do
handing the
that?
mic over. Yeah, Colin's done it before. Actually, Lance has too. We can talk about that later, though.
All right, let's talk about that next inning or whenever Jim Crane's not in here, if he's in here next half inning. So we will we're through 2. We may hear from the owner in the top half of the 3rd or the bottom of the 3rd. We'll find out right around the corner. Four to 1 in favor of the Marlins as we head to the 3rd inning. It is our pleasure right now to be joined in the booth by the owner of the Houston Astros, Jim Crane. Jim, it is a fun spring training in a very new facility. Your first thoughts about seeing the ballpark of the Palm Beaches finished after a 15-month project?
We've been working hard here for about 4.5 years to get to this point, but it's turned out beautiful. We got a little loose ends around here yet, but you know, the players really love it because of the layout. It's a state-of-the-art facility, so it flows extremely well, you know, for the players and all the practice field and the gym and that sort of thing. So we're really happy with it. I think it's going to be a great success.
Let's be honest. How excited are you to be in the West Palm Beach area?
Well, I mean, when we looked at this, we really needed to move only because we were traveling too much right in the middle there with the Braves, and I think they're moving. You know, it wasn't so much about Kissimmee, although the stadium was old. It was really getting close to other teams. I think this year we only have to get on the bus a couple times. There's 5 teams here. Hopefully there'll be one more team here at some point down the line, and we won't have to make one trip on the bus each year, so that's really nice.
Christian Yelich leads things off in the top half of the 3rd inning. Jim Crane joins us in the booth, and Jim, we'll get a chance here to watch Francis Martes. I know we've been looking forward to this, and I'm sure you are as well.
Well, Jeff, you know, I talked to Jeff today. He said had 3 of his young guys going with Davinsky and Marte, and so you know, he's got good stuff. So we're looking for big things from him.
Now, being down here, you guys were close to the Floridian, and obviously you have a home there. You have a little bit to do with the Floridian itself as a whole, I imagine. But you had the boys. You invited everybody that was in big league camp up to your house in the Floridian and had a good time. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we just wanted to give them a welcome dinner. We had a dinner at the club and had about 80 guys there, and you know, let them relax and you know, just chit chat and hang out for a little bit. Some of them try to hit some golf balls. I don't think I'm worried about them playing golf anytime soon.
Do they tear up your range?
No. They're just a little place out behind the back. You can hit it some golf balls, but they have a good time. I think, you know, what we try to do as a team is create some chemistry with Jeff and AJ and get everybody on the same page, and that helps.
So, of the guys that we saw take swings with the golf club, they're better hitters than golfers.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be looking at them going on a tour or anything.
Really nice play by Marwin Gonzalez there for the first out of the inning to retire Christian Yelich. Up the middle, diving stop. And that is another look here, Jeff.
No, it's a great play. Jose Altuve, who, right? You got somebody else to back him up, and we know that AJ enjoys the depth. He talked about how well the bench is going to be this year, but Marwin Gonzalez, his role is going to change a little bit. Played a lot of first base last year, but now he's going to be able to use that versatility to give guys some days off throughout the course of the season. And Martes gets an opportunity to see what his defense can do behind him, which is probably pretty comforting for him. But this offseason for you, Jim Crane, was a little bit different. You actually had an opportunity to go out and get some guys and use that free agent market a little bit and make a big trade. How did you feel going or at the end of the offseason making those acquisitions?
Well, as we said when we took over the team, you know, 5 years ago, we'd continue to improve the play role, and this year created an opportunity. We had room to really bring in 3 players, Beltran and McCann and J.J. Reddick, all quality players, all senior guys or experienced guys. And, you know, that filled in a lot of holes in the team. I really like the infield with Yurley on first. You know, we've got a good defensive infield, maybe one of the best in baseball. So I think, you know, all of it's coming together, and hopefully we can make a run and get in the playoffs.
Do you feel, as you get ready for this 2017 season, like depth is as strong as it's been with this team since you've been here? Yeah, well, we set out to really improve the minor league system, and it's still very strong, and we got a bunch of picks coming this year with the Cardinal deal. Mm-hmm. But, you know, we'll be able to keep that very strong and then add the pieces as we move forward and make adjustments. And so, yeah, we think our system is very deep, and, you know, it's going to take 40 guys to win the championship. Not just the guys on the team, because people go up and down and people get hurt, so you got to have the depth.
And the team is exciting, and it's going to be fun when we get back to Minute Maid Park. There is some additions and subtractions in center field. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we worked hard to redesign center field, not so much for Towles Hill, but to really get more function for the fans. So we kind of knocked out, it was kind of all blocked out. So when you come in now, you'll be able to see from every level, even ground level, there's a place for the fans to go. It will open the ballpark up with more concessions and better views and, you know, cool places to hang out and stand and talk to your buddies and friends. And we think it's going to be a great addition. We think the fans will really like it.
We're really excited to see all those additions, and that seems to be the trend around baseball right now, where we talked about this a little yesterday, where a lot of fans like to go and not necessarily sit in a seat for all 9 innings, but check out the stadium and walk around and watch from different vantage points.
Well, you know, the games are stretching out. You know, they're averaging over 3 hours, which the commissioner's working to get them down. But it's hard to sit for 3 hours for anybody. So people like to move around. This will give them an opportunity to be able to move around a little bit and see some different parts of the ballpark. So we think it's going to work well.
You played baseball in college. and you've been around the game long enough. How do you feel about some of the transitions with some of these rules that are coming about from Rob Manfred?
Well, you know, he's really working hard to keep the fans' interest. I mean, I think they're all positive. I know the players sometimes don't like the changes, but you know, the game is stretched out from 2:30, you know, to over three hours a game, and it's just too long to keep, you know, little kids' attention. And I think it's good for the ball game to try to, or good for the game to shrink that timetable and keep things condensed and keep everybody's interest.
We really appreciate the time up in the booth. Thank you very much, Jim.
Good luck to these guys.
Very much so. Thank you, Jim.
Good luck, you guys, this year, and enjoy the new facility. It looks great. The weather.
It does look good.
We appreciate it. Jim Crane joining us top half of the third inning. It's 4-1 Marlins. We'll be back with the bottom of the third after this.
Welcome back. Bottom of the third, 4-1 Marlins leading the Astros. And Astros mini plans are on sale now. Pick the games and seat locations that work best for you with the 15-game flex plan, or attend the games with the best giveaways with the 10-game bobblehead series package. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com/mini plans to get yours today. Beautiful looking field here in West Palm. I'm looking forward to the one at home, though, too. I'm really looking forward to getting inside Minute Maid Park, guys, to see all the changes that are made out there. No more Towels Hill, and I think lots of good food options for me to try out. The rumor.
I think you're right. We touched on a couple.
You know where I'll be.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a good shot of it right there with the batting eye going up in center field. No more Towels Hill. It's going to be a whole different look. I'm extremely looking forward to it, and I know that Julia is going to go out there and test some of the good food that's going to be
crush Torchy's tacos, or
no doubt.
If you had
Shake Shack.
I was going to say, if you had one off season where either Shake Shack or Torchy's came in, that would be a phenomenal off season.
Oof.
Yeah,
the fact that they're both in
we
there.
talk about Beltron and Reddick. What about Torchy's and Shake Shack?
we asked Jim about the wrong acquisitions.
Exactly right. Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of great areas for fans to be able to watch the game, stand around, order a drink, and just be able to see the game from a different angle and a different spot in the ballpark than they ever have before. I think that's going to be neat.
I think the other cool thing, as Colin Moran sends one in the air to left field and drifting over to make the play, is the left fielder Derek Dietrich, and there's one away. I think the cool thing, too, Julia, in addition to the fans getting to watch the game out there, is pre- and post-game shows from center field. We're trying to visualize what it's going to look like, but that'll be out there, too, right?
I really hope that fans will stick around. Get there early and stick around for the post-game show where you can watch, you can hear the show happen, and maybe get on TV. Bring your signs and act a fool and get on TV. Behave, but
just like us.
We want you to behave, but that's a great chance for you to stick around for a little bit, finish that drink, and just hang out a little bit after a great game. Some of those big wins that they have. That's a really cool part of the night. No one wants to leave the ballpark, so don't. So hang out with us for a few minutes longer.
I like it. By the way, you left something in the booth. I don't think Jeff and I need a brow liner.
Would you hey, she picked that up for me. Why?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't think it's your color.
I think I just locked up Todd.
What? I don't think it's your color. It's very nice, though.
Do we need to tell the story about how I had to borrow Blummer's makeup one time? This is a great spring training story.
Yeah,
that is a true story also.
Let's hear it.
Well, just on game 150 or whatever it might have been during one season, I forgot to bring makeup to the ballpark. Just did not bring it with me. We're there all day, so 10 o'clock I needed to refresh a little bit. Didn't have anything on me. Well, I did remember that Jeff Blum would have some makeup on him. All TV guys wear it, so he's not the only one. This isn't anything out of the ordinary, but he happened to have some on him. I borrowed it. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm a team player.
Same skin tone, so it worked out?
Yes.
Close enough.
Close enough. When you're desperate, fly ball into right field off the bat of George Springer. And a nice play by Marcell Ozuna right in front of the crowd, right in front of the stands, and there's 2 away. That was not an easy play. But anyhow, we'll return this to you, Julia. Appreciate it. Carlos Beltran will be hitting here, probably his final at bat. And he had 3 innings of left field. As A.J. Hinch said, it's probably enough for him for this first time in the outfield. Don't want to overextend it. Do we know, Julia, who the first target is for the interview, or we'll just kind of play it by ear?
Yeah, the tough thing is when they all come off at the same time and they all take off for the clubhouse at the same time. So hopefully Carlos Beltran will hang around for just a second. I'd like to hear how his day in left went.
Yeah.
Are guys' feelings hurt if you don't ask them for an interview?
Are you kidding me? Hurt? Jose Altuve is the one that nominated Alex Bregman yesterday. That's how that happened. Altuve told me he was too hungry at the moment. He said, I nominate Alex Bregman to fill in my shoes.
That's a veteran move.
And that's how that went. Yeah, you can't say no to Altuve when he tells you what to do.
Yeah, he's too sweet.
I can't either, yeah.
Having been in that same position, Julia, I know exactly what you're dealing with. Hey, Carlos Beltran with a base hit to right. Guys get their bags on their shoulders. They're zipped up.
They're ready.
All they're thinking about is getting back to the clubhouse. We're going to walk Carlos Beltran off here, so you've got your first opportunity. We'll let you go. Derek Fisher will pinch run for Carlos Beltran. Julia will try and attempt to talk to him before he heads to the clubhouse. So Fisher in the game. Carlos Beltran with a walk and a single. He's now 2 for 3 with a home run in the young spring training season. And Derek Fisher will be the pinch runner first, and obviously he'll take over for Beltran in left field as well. 4-1. Marlins lead the Astros 4-1. Astros trail bottom half of the 3rd inning. Edinson Volquez on the mound for the Marlins. Part of the rotation in 2017. Last pitch with the Kansas City Royals the last 2 seasons. Volquez to Correa, called strike, 0-1. Correa grounded into a double play his first time up. Carlos on the spring now 1 for 6. There goes the runner. Fisher, pitch inside. The throw is a little bit wide and a stolen base for the Astros, Derek Fisher. And that's what he can do. Lummer, you've got a guy who the last couple of years has hit 20-plus home runs and stolen 20-plus bases. That's a nice combination to have.
No, that's a great upside, and that's what George Springer was doing before he got to the big leagues. Similar stuff to what Derek Fisher is doing. And we know that the Astros are going to be aggressive with the speed they do have on the base paths. I think that AJ has a green light for everybody in spring training, and then we'll give them the stoplight. He wants to see what these guys can do on the base paths, but Derek Fisher is one of those unique talents that combines the power and the speed.
And the reality for Fisher is, and we've already talked about this with the outfield additions, there's really no room for him. There's no room for a lot of guys who want to try and go out there and make the most of an impression as you can, just so down the road, A.J. Hinch knows what you can bring to the table.
Yeah, and what I've heard about Derek Fisher with the numbers that we talk about and the obvious athletic talent is he's kind of got this edge or this anger about him when he goes out and plays the game. And you like to see those guys because that anger usually translates into being hungry and aggressive on the baseball field and wanting to succeed.
University of Virginia guy over in scoring position now, and a 2-1 count on Carlos Correa. How about the inning? We had the owner, Jim Crane, so we didn't get a chance to really focus on Martes. But how about the inning for the young 21-year-old going through Christian Yelich, Giancarlo Stanton, and Justin Bour?
Really good you brought that up, yeah, because you don't want to have that overlooked. That kid, he looked good. He lived up the scouting report that A.J. Hinch gave us. Saw good fastball, saw good location. He wasn't wild around the outside of the zone. He was pumping on the outside corner, used the defense behind him. What I like is that he's got 3 ground balls in that inning. Ground balls translate to being a successful pitcher in Minute Maid Park because it is a home run friendly ballpark if the ball is in the air.
Good to see him get his first taste of this spring, just 21 years old. He was the youngest pitcher at the Double A level last year at the beginning of the season. And Martes has a very, very bright future. Made his 2017 debut today. And there's ball 4 to Correa. So a 2-out single, stolen base, and now a walk. And the Astros have runners on first and second with 2 away. I was kind of weird talking to Jim, so I was kind of watching Martes out of the corner of my eye, but I believe he quick pitched Giancarlo on one.
I saw that too. The ground ball he hit.
The ground ball.
Him, yep.
You're talking about one of the premier hitters in baseball, and you're 21 pitching in your first spring training game.
Yeah.
And you're going to have the confidence to quick pitch someone like him. That's pretty gutsy right there.
Is that gall?
That is gall.
I mean, there's another word that rhymes with it that might be plural. It may more, to do in spring training. But man, yeah, you got to get creative, and he didn't lose his release point, made a good pitch, and maybe that's something that's a part of his repertoire to go out there and be a little bit funky, Johnny Cueto style.
And it's one thing for Francis to break that out at the Double A level at Corpus Christi, but it's another thing when you're facing Giancarlo Stanton on the big league field. Good for him. 2 outs, 2 on. Josh Reddick at the plate. And he walked on 5 pitches his first time up, facing the starter Tom Kohler. Now Volquez, after 2 quick outs, working and trying to work out of a little trouble. Marlins lead the Astros 4-1. 3-run home run, the big blast for Miami, and that came off the bat of Miguel Rojas in the 2nd inning. That was the last batter that starter Chris Davinsky would face. Reddick also stole a base his first time up, and good to see the Astros early on getting out there and running. We've seen 2 steals already here in the first 3 innings.
And it's still situational baseball. You're not going to go out there and just run with, your head cut off trying to create situations. There's going to be opportunities where it's a good spot to run, a bad spot to run, and I think that's why the green light might be on most of the time for some of these guys, because you want to see some of the decision-making skills of these kids too.
2-0, good hitters count again for Josh Reddick. And he fouls one away down the left field side.
Oh, man down.
Man down. Let's look at Francis Martes, 3rd inning.
Yeah, doing a great job using that defense behind him. And what I love is this kid is attacking the strike zone. Marwin Gonzalez picking him up right there with that diving play to his right-hand side. And that's that quick pitch that Todd was talking about. No leg kick whatsoever out of that wind-up position. Getting Giancarlo ground out. But again, battled back in this at-bat, was a little down the zone. And some of the mistakes that you're seeing, if you want to see, if a guy is in command, where he misses. If he's missing arm side up and away, not really getting on top of the baseball, not a good sign. But Martes, for me, was down in the zone, and when he missed down.
Yeah, that's where you're going to want to miss. And again, to quick pitch Giancarlo Stanton and have a 1-2-3 inning, an impressive 2017 debut. We look forward to watching the development of Francis Martes throughout the spring and throughout his career, just 21 years of age. Here the Astros trying to cut into a 4-1 lead. 3-1 pitch off the bat of Reddick is in the air to center. Yelich is giving way to Dietrich, who makes the play. The left fielder for the Marlins puts it away for the final out. So the Astros fail to score, leave 2. We are through 3 innings from the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. It's 4-1 Marlins. Fourth inning baseball, Marlins leading the Astros 4-1. We are joined by another special guest. Former pitcher Carl Pavano has joined us in the booth. Carl, thank you very much for joining us.
All right, guys.
In addition to the number of years you pitched the big leagues, former teammate of the got to you right, huh?
Yeah, all the way back to AA. He was in Harrisburg, I was in Trenton.
Yep, believe it. Yeah, you were an original Red Sox before getting traded over to Montreal, and we faced each other a little bit in the minor leagues and played together a little bit in the big leagues with the Montreal Expos before both of us graduated from Expo University and got traded out of there.
Those were the days, weren't they?
They were. But that was the original West Palm teams, were the Braves and the Expos when we were both there.
Yep.
What was your experience like down in West Palm Beach?
Yeah, it was great. I didn't spend much time at the old stadium, but opening up Roger Dean, like you as well. I mean, just a great place to play baseball here in Palm Beach County. Plenty of fans, plenty of great baseball fans, and look at this weather. Could you do much better than this?
And that's why you chose to live here, right?
Yes.
So you're down in the area, which is nice. How do you feel seeing a facility like this coming back to West Palm Beach?
This facility reminds me a lot of the modern facilities that they're building in Arizona right now. I know Roger Dean is a little more outdated. Still a great stadium, but I think the orange and blue is a nice color addition. I like this, the Houston being here, as well as the Nationals moving down from Melbourne.
I know as you watch the game, you probably focus on pitchers as much as anybody. What do you think of the arm of the guy you're seeing on the mound right now, 21-year-old Francis Martins?
Yeah, I was thrown back, Todd, when you told me he's only 21. I mean, it's coming out of his hand pretty live. Blummer used to throw like that when he was his age. That's why they put him in the infield.
Exactly. Put me farther away from first base. Let me use it.
Derek Dietrich around the bunt is the hitter. Dietrich playing left field today. He's versatile. You've watched a lot of the Marlins. You've worked with the Marlins on the TV side for a while too, and you pitched for them, of course. What are your thoughts about this year's team? And obviously they're overcoming the tragedy of Jose Fernandez, and that's a tough blow.
Yeah, and pitching is everything. I'm sure they're going to be able to fill that. It is a little bit of a void, but this core that they've had together, you got to expect. I mean, a lot of them became, like Ozuna became an all-star for the first time last year. He's rounding out, and all these guys are going to really start hitting their stride, and that's good for the Marlins.
Were you surprised at the success of the Marlins last year?
No, not at all. I mean, watching them the year before, they were just a touch. They had to add a couple pieces. They added Ichiro, I think, from a veteran standpoint. Everything he does is just a great addition for these young guys to see how he goes about his business. And you could just see these guys running out into good ball players, and they're good people too, and that's important, especially when you're trying to get that culture right.
Giancarlo Stanton, a great guy, and he has become one guy, if there is a guy in baseball that you never want to miss in at bat.
No, and he's fun to watch. I mean, even when he swings and misses, you're taken back by just the stature of him, and then when it does come off the bat, it goes very far.
Runner on the move, and he is hung up. Marcell Ozuna trying to get back to first. Gurriel applies the tag, and he is out. Ozuna stopped between first and second. Stassi to Correa to Gurriel, and there's out number one in the fourth.
Gotta love spring training. Signs getting blown up. That'll just lead to another conversation tomorrow morning when you have your team meeting. But you can see as Ozuna takes off, looking for the hit and run. Didn't get it from Dietrich, and is eventually out. But the execution by the Astros was incredibly nice. But Carl, do you go in and bench with Giancarlo?
No, I'm his spotter, actually. I'm his spotter. I dry him off and feed him water.
Exactly.
I try not to get into those games.
Oh, my gosh. I couldn't even imagine.
I'm far from benching.
3-1 the count on Dietrich, one out. And there is ball four, so Martez issues his first walk.
Talk to us a little bit about, I mean, you've been around the game obviously recently. You've covered the Marlins in the last couple of years. But when you came into spring training, what was your approach and what was spring training like for you?
Yeah, we touched on it with the WBC. I mean, I don't know how these guys are ready in February, early March to go play games. I was a guy that took all of spring to get my stuff going. But, location, mechanics, just getting, coming in good shape and taking that into baseball shape. And then, just being able to, for me, I pitched off my fastball. So for me, I wanted to see my fastball early on and then get to my breaking pitches as my arm got conditioned and, throw as many innings as possible. And, my job was to keep the ball on the ground and keep the line moving.
Austin Nola is the hitter, catcher for the Marlins.
Have you had any interest in coaching or getting into the game any way like that?
I've thought about it. I got young kids right now. I got 3 young kids, and having the ability to stay at home, I'm enjoying that. But I'm sure as they get a little bit older and they start spreading their wings, I could see it could be something that would take me away from home, and I wouldn't be too worried about it.
This year with the Marlins hosting not only the WBC but also the All-Star game, are you still kind of involved with stuff that happens within the Marlins organization too?
Yeah, I think I'll be down there. I was an All-Star in '04 for the Marlins, so I'll be able to get into those festivities, which is always fun. And Miami's a great place to spend some time with the family. It's nice down there, and that stadium is first class.
Base hit into right field. Reddick will come and play it, but heading first to third is Dietrich, and now with 1 out after the runner was erased trying to steal, the Marlins have runners on first and third. Where was the '04 All-Star game?
It was in Houston.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, of course.
And I think I gave American League the home field advantage. I gave up a 3-run homer in the 3rd inning to Ortiz that actually gave them the win. I don't know if anyone wants to talk about it. And that was the year the Red Sox won the World Series. So,
there you go.
I don't know if I helped them out, but I gave them home field advantage.
Lifted their spirits at the break,
Definitely.
Give them a little momentum.
Carl, go ahead.
Where did you like playing the most?
I enjoyed putting the uniform no matter where it was. What a privilege it is to do that. But I think as I had a good time for like the first 2 or 3 days in New York, and then that kind of went sour. But then after that,
paid off. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Minnesota was fun. Cleveland, later on the end of my career, I enjoyed, Montreal, Florida. But later on in my career, Minnesota was a really
cool
place
you had a good
to be.
year in Minnesota also. You guys went to the playoffs one of those years, didn't you?
Yeah, 2009 and 10 we went to the playoffs. And we had a good team, good bunch of guys. And we opened the stadium in 2010, so we opened up a new stadium, and that's always fun. The fans just kept coming, and we were playing good baseball, so that made it a good time.
1-1 the count on Miguel Rojas, who hit a 3-run home run against Chris Davinsky his first time up. That's why the Marlins lead 4-1. Todd Callis along with Jeff Blum, and we have special guest Carl Pavano up in the booth with us as well. You mentioned opening up Target Field. I mean, that was a crazy situation for a couple of years there because the Twins were being talked about contracted when they were playing at the Metrodome. Next thing you know, they get a new stadium, and the city and the Twins, just what a love affair they have right now.
Yeah, they always had good teams, and then they had that, where they almost got pushed out. And then Ron Gardner came and saved the day. What a great manager, and he had that good run, and I think that revived, the organization. And then they were able to put the Pohlads who done a lot of, getting that stadium in place. And their fans are really loyal. I mean, through and through, they were great.
I can't believe they haven't had a snow out yet.
Oh, and last year I think it did snow early on, but they were on the road, I believe.
Right. Here's a fly ball to center, and tagging and heading home and scoring will be Derek Dietrich. The Marlins add to their lead. It's now 5-1. That's RBI number 4 on the game for Miguel Rojas. And that'll do it for Francis Martez as he is at 31 pitches. A.J. Hinch will come out and get his young 21-year-old right-hander, who is an inning and 2/3 in. So far has allowed 1 run, responsible for Austin Nola on first base. We'll come back and tell you about the new arm for the Astros as we are in a 5-1 game in the top half of the 4th. we build champions. "5-1 in favor of the Marlins. 2 outs, top half of the 4th inning from the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, special guest Carl Pavano in the booth. We were just talking during the break, guys, about the 2004 All-Star game in Houston. Memories about the home run derby. That had to be fun to watch in that stadium.
Yeah, there were some monsters. You got that little short porch and left there leaving the yard early and often. It was fun to watch, and we had some hitters up there, no doubt.
Well, that was the Lance Berkman, Miguel Tejada battle, and I know that Lance was predominantly a very strong left-handed hitter, but in that home run derby with, the stadium was open, so that glass shield that they have out there above the train tracks in left field was wide open, and both him and Miggy were literally launching them out of the stadium. I mean, I can imagine. We played at that ballpark plenty, but to see that in person, that's got to be incredible.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. A lot of excitement too. Bergman being a hometown guy. Everyone was on their feet.
There's a runner thrown out trying to advance to second base as Max Stassi guns him down to end the inning. So that'll do it for the top half of the 4th inning as Austin Nola is retired and trying to advance to second. So Kevin Chapman comes in and gets an out on the base paths. We'll have the bottom of the 4th right around the corner. Astros, bottom half of the 4th inning, taking a look at the final out of the top half of the inning. Nice job by Max Stassi to stay in front of this pitch and throw out the runner.
Yeah, Stassi was a late addition, but what Stassi has also been known for is what he does behind the plate. But you get to see a little more of the cerebral part of it, where he took a peek to see where that base runner was at, saw that there was a little bit of a delay, and it might have been an opportunity for the runner to try and advance on a ball in the dirt. Stassi took a peek, kept his wits about him, and made a strong throw down to second base.
So we have Carl Pavano in the booth with us, reminiscing a little bit about the 2004 All-Star game in Houston. Looking over that lineup, we had Carlos Beltran in that game.
Yep.
And we saw Carlos earlier in this game. We would have seen Ichiro, but he's still not playing games right now for the Marlins. He was on that roster. What a lot.
No, that's ridiculous. Some of these names in All-Star games.
Giambi,
the outfield,
Jeter.
Yeah, the outfield for the National League was Griffey Jr. with the Reds then, Barry Bonds, and Sammy Sosa.
There's some names right there.
That's not too shabby. Yeah, Jeter, who you got to play with in New York, and he's actually going to have his uniform retired the weekend the Astros are in town this year at the new Yankee Stadium. So
that's going to be fun for you guys.
That'll be a cool moment.
Yeah. There should be some fans in the stands for that, I think.
I think people show up.
They remember him?
I don't know. It is New York, but I don't know if they'll forget that guy.
Yeah, seriously, right?
What about the very first pitch that was thrown in that game? The ceremonial first pitch.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali.
No kidding.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Did you get a chance, because I know those guys kind of tour underneath and go in the clubhouse. Did you get a chance to meet him? Or?
Yeah, he came through the clubhouse, and he did this thing where he used to, like, pretend like he's afloat, and he'd, like, put his thumb and then, like, blow on his thumb and pretend like he would levitate. It was kind of funny. Everyone had, and he always had he had a great personality.
Yeah, he was an entertainer to the core.
Mm-hmm. And he loved it.
Evan Gattis will lead off for the Astros, and he hooks one deep but foul down the left field line off of Edinson Volquez, who's in his second inning of work. We also saw another one of your former teammates who was on that All-Star roster yesterday, trying to make a team with the Washington Nationals, Joe Nathan, at age 42 years old.
Great guy.
One of the best that ever was in a Major League clubhouse.
Fun to watch pitch. Got to know him and his family really well. Just one of those top-notch guys. I wish him luck. I know He's still could throw the baseball. Just needs that opportunity. I know he's had some couple arm problems, but he's working through it.
What is that transition like? How difficult was it for you to say, all right, this game that I love so much is not going to be a part of my life?
No, I still haven't admitted it. I still think I could play, Todd, actually. Actually, as soon as I get home, I'm going to go make a comeback.
Yeah, I think that for about a day. It's the week after that I worry about.
The day after you throw there's no ligaments left.
Exactly.
No, I mean, it's always in your blood. And I think when you get out of baseball, you're still hungry for that success and that camaraderie. It's the camaraderie with the guys you miss a lot too. You know, you grew up, you have 25 brothers basically in your clubhouse, and that's the type of teammates we were. We loved being around each other and having laughs and sharing stories, and so you got to kind of find that. And whether it's on a golf course or you just find a local group or you just meet guys in your area, but it's tough to match. I mean, this is the pinnacle of sports, right? Being a professional athlete, so it's tough to match.
The game has changed a little bit since you and I had been playing, and you being a pitcher and watching how some of these defenses play. I'm not sure how often the Marlins go about it, but the Houston Astros lead the league in shifts for at least the last 3 or 4 years that I know of. As a pitcher, did that affect you at all, and how do you feel about some of the shifts that are going on in baseball these days?
It wasn't so prevalent for me. I was a ground ball pitcher, so I think shading this way or that way, they looked at the percentage of where guys hit the ball. But that's a modern day thing right now. I had Perry Hill, who's in this dugout in the Marlins, and he was
one of the greatest coaches ever, by the way.
And you had him as well, right?
Yep, I had him in Montreal. Yeah, I owe a lot to him, teaching me how to move around. But also, in order to make a good infielder better, you got to be able to position him. And Perry was one of those guys.
Yeah, and he would just put a guy 2 steps this way or 2 steps that way that just allowed him to get to the ball and make the play easier than if he was always in that same position. He just seemed to always be a step ahead in that regard.
Evan Gaddis fouls one back, extended a bat here, 3-2 count. Edinson Volquez in the second inning of work. Volquez should be a part of this rotation as he came over this offseason for the Miami Marlins. As they try and find basically what Tom Kohler said recently in the media. They're hoping with, in addition to Adam Conley, that they have 4 guys that can stay healthy and give them 180, 190 innings. And they're never going to replicate, or there's a bullet that D. Gordon hangs with as it was heading towards center field. But how about that shift? That worked out pretty nice up the middle.
That one worked out.
That one worked out. Looking to have 4 guys, the rest of the rotation, including Volquez, that can really go 180, 190 innings and stay healthy. You're never going to have the ace in this group that you had with Jose Fernandez, but Tom Kohler feels like can be a really solid group.
They got they have a great defense. They got a deep bullpen. If they have to go to the bullpen, that's what they've kind of built that bullpen around. But they got guys capable of going innings and putting up strong starts, and that's what you got to strive for.
Max Stassi, the batter, 1 out, base is clear.
You've got 2 bombs in the big leagues. Who'd you hit them off of?
I don't remember. Yeah, I do. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say.
I hit them both in 04, actually. One against Jason Smith in San Francisco, one Sterling Hitchcock. And it's actually, I don't mean to brag, but it's the farthest homer hit by a pitcher ever in Petco Park. Well, it was
really?
Petco at the time. I think it still stands.
Yeah, it's still
we
Petco.
can look. Let me check.
Yeah. Oh, you know.
Really?
You know. Give me a break.
That's not an easy stadium.
No, it was he threw me a 3-2 split finger. I don't know why.
And it hung a little?
It's probably the only thing I could catch up to.
It was at night.
Where was it? Straight away?
During the day. It was a day game. Yeah, day game.
No, at night. Marine Layer was hovering over the field.
That's right.
Wind blowing in from left.
I fouled the last pitch off my ankle. I hit it on 1 foot.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did the longest home run by a pitcher in Petco Park go? To center?
Left center.
Left center.
Yeah, I hit it, I think, in the top of the bleachers there.
Yeah, that's not easy to do up in that upper tank.
I still feel like I could do that.
That is impressive.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm glad we got to talk about my homers, Plummer. What a friend.
You can boost that ego a little bit, man.
Oh, that's fun.
Yuli Gurriel, the batter, with 2 outs and nobody on. Astros trailing the Marlins 5-1, bottom half of the 4th inning. We have Carl Pavano in with us for the 4th, and we appreciate you being here, Carl. Final thing, or if we have an extra batter, we'll see if it's the final thing. As you get ready for this season to start 2017, and you see the Marlins, you see the Astros now, should be a fun year, especially coming off the 2016 campaign. with the Cubs and the Indians getting to the World Series and the Cubs finally winning it. It should be a fun year this year as we ramp up to opening day.
You're looking at two competitive teams, I think, as far as experience. Maybe the Marlins, some of those guys have a little more experience, that core, but you got some great players on the Astros with another year under their belt. They're still going to have more experience, and just keep grinding it out, as they say. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's a long season, so you never know what's going to happen.
Well, you've gone through many of them, and we appreciate your time in the booth with us today. Thank you, Carl.
Appreciate
it.
Stuff. Thank you, Carl.
Right, thanks.
We are through 4-5-1 Marlins.
Memberships are on sale now. For only $25, Buddies members receive a voucher for 4 tickets to a select game, front-of-the-line access to Kids Run the Bases, exclusive player autograph sessions, and more. Visit astros.com/buddies for all of the details and to purchase a membership for kids, up to 12 years old. And welcome you back. Lefty Kevin Chapman back on the hill, getting a little bit more work in before he leaves March 5th for Dunedin. He's going to meet Team Canada there. He will be representing Canada in the World Baseball Classic that's coming up, and they'll be heading to Miami right after that, after they play the Yankees, to get ready for that. But Kevin Chapman's dad was born in Canada. His grandparents were obviously from there and lived there all of their lives. His dad lived there just for a few years before he moved to the New York area. And then, of course, they've made their home down here in Florida, so he's almost home here at this ballpark. But this was a good chance for him, guys. Playing for Team Canada was a good chance for him to get into some game action. He told me, one of the things he struggles with is having a good start to the year and getting off on the right foot. And so this is a good chance for him to just get the adrenaline going and really get into those game situations and focus in and kind of zero in on some of the things he's been working on for the past few years. Maybe accelerate that just a bit. This is a big spring training for him with no options left. Todd.
Yeah, it's talk about getting the adrenaline going. It is full of adrenaline when you pitch for your country. And I remember the last WBC when the Dominican Republic won and Fernando Rodney pitched in that closing game, and he was not as excited about any major league game more than that game for about 2 or 3 months. He went from the adrenaline rush of the WBC to pitching in the regular season of the major leagues, and it took him a while to get excited again about the season because the WBC was so amped up.
Yeah, seasons are long, but the WBC, they do a good job of promoting that. But there's nothing like the national pride of an athlete putting that name of the country across their chest and being able to go out there and perform. And, you're basically etching your name in history. You are a part of the national team in the WBC. That is something that's going to last forever, and I know these guys take an unbelievable amount of pride in.
D. Gordon will send one on a hop to Carlos Correa, and Gordon hustling down the line. Correa makes the play. Gordon now is 1 for 3. Take a look at the numbers on Kevin Chapman, the lefty.
And, at first look, you see Kevin Chapman and you see the fastball in the low 90s, which is pretty good for a left-hander. Decent off-speed stuff. And then you see the numbers. They're a little inflated. The 9 ERA in the big leagues in 9 games, 2.38 whip. And the issue is facing lefties. You see the average well above 500, which if you are left-handed, you are sometimes thought to be a left-handed specialist. But it's a control issue for me for what Chapman brings. He's got a good fastball and should be able to locate it. He just doesn't find the release point when he gets to the big leagues for some reason.
Looking at the Team Canada roster, they have a group of first basemen to be proud of. Freddie Freeman, Justin Morneau, and Joey Votto.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. Ryan Dempster and Eric Gagne are going to pitch for Team Canada. For them, it'll be their first World Baseball Classic.
Huh? Dempster making a comeback?
16 seasons.
How about that?
Age 39.
Gagne. When was the last time Gagne played?
08.
Wow.
He's 41 years old.
Still going strong.
If you had another country you could go to, you might be able to.
Oh, man, they're not going to let me in.
What?
Are you kidding me? They're not going to let me.
You can get some ABs.
That would be a stretch, Todd. I appreciate you saying that.
I mean, Gagne hasn't pitched since 08. We're in 2017 now.
What does that say about the depth of talent? No, I'm just kidding.
Here's a ball rocketed, but right at the third baseman, Colin Moran. Martin Prado hits it well, but he is retired.
That could be the single best spring training at bat ever. Square it up, hit a line drive. You don't have to sprint to first. Take it back to the dugout.
Don't even have to drop your bat.
You did everything right.
Yep. And in spring training, you don't care.
Yep. You just get those out of the way, so you get a couple of those duck snorts that kind of drop in between fielders during the regular season.
Boys in the truck wondering if your time in Australia when you played in the Australian Baseball League would make you eligible as an Australian.
Man, I'd be willing to abuse that one if I could. I loved playing down there. It's a good call. I'm going to
have to look
call
into
the commish.
Have to look into the ruling on that. Christian Yelich is the batter. 2 outs, nobody on. Marlins regulars in there for a third time around the lineup. So Kevin's seeing D. Gordon, Martin Prado, and Christian Yelich. D. Gordon, by the way, back in the lineup today for the Marlins, been dealing with a little pink eye. So he was kept away from the rest of his teammates for the last few days. Don Mattingly welcoming him back. But Gordon got so bored that he bought one of those little hitting nets at a local sporting goods store and just set up camp and took some flips in his condo.
Oh, my gosh.
He was so bored he couldn't work out with the guys.
Ball players are a mess. Yeah, and you don't want to lose that stroke. He probably came in feeling pretty good. Then you get something like that where they say, just stay away.
This ball hit well. Derek Fisher looking up, and Christian Yelich has himself an opposite field home run just inside the left field foul pole. We mentioned the last 2 days the wind has been blowing out to left, and now all 5 home runs in the 2 games in the ballpark of the Palm Beaches has been hit to left field.
And it's tough for Chapman. Left on left. And for whatever reason, cannot figure it out. And we see it right here. I know it's spring training. I know the wind is blowing extremely good, but still a good job by Yelich to elevate this ball and launch it to left field. And you can see the look on Chapman's face. As soon as he saw it elevated to left field, it's out of here. And I think a lot of Astro pitchers are recognizing the fact that if a ball is pulled in the air to left field, it's going to go.
Yeah, the early prevailing winds here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches is heavy favorite for right-handed hitters. Speaking of which, the guy at the plate doesn't need any help.
Yeah.
Giancarlo Stanton is the hitter. As you see, the winds the exact same as yesterday, consistently blowing out towards left. That's a big rip at the 2-0 pitch and fouled back. Play that MLB home run derby game on the MLB app, and the guy I always use from last year's All-Star game, Giancarlo Stanton. It's almost unfair.
It is unfair.
That's a little pop-up in the shallow center, and George Springer comes on and makes the play. Nice catch by the Astros center fielder to end the inning, and has a word or two for Marwin Gonzalez on his way in, and they will smile about that catch. We will take another look on our way out. 6-1 Marlins on the Yelich home run, but here's the way the inning ended.
Would you be into doing
Marlins lead the Astros 6-1 as we head to the bottom half of the fifth inning. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market game live everywhere and enjoy almost 300 spring training games as well as the 2017 World Baseball Classic. MLB.TV Premium includes a free at-bat subscription, a $19.99 value. That allows you to watch live baseball on over 400 mobile and connected devices, enjoy the best picture quality ever, and connected devices enhancements. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Beautiful day today at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Not sure about tomorrow. There was an iffy weather forecast for the third of our 3 consecutive telecasts. We'll bring you these 3 in a row, yesterday, today, tomorrow, and then we'll have a little time off. Let you enjoy a little bit of the World Baseball Classic as well. Then we'll be back down here towards the middle of the month. And, hey, Perry Hill just took that throw from the first baseman, Justin Bohr. And you and
Yes.
Carl Pavano were talking about him a little earlier, one of the coaches for the Miami Marlins, who is as influential maybe as anybody in your career?
No, I'd say he was probably the most influential as far as what I could do defensively. When I came up through the Montreal organization, I came up as a shortstop, and I played shortstop for the first year I was there. Next year, Orlando Cabrera was healthy, and I was kind of designated as a utility guy, but it wasn't because I could play every position. It was because Felipe Alou asked me, hey, can you play a little left field or third base? And I said, Felipe, will I make the team if I do that? And he said, oh, yeah. And I said, then I can play those positions.
Yes, I can.
And as soon as I said yes, the next move I made after I left his office was to go in and talk to Perry Hill. And I said, Perry, man, you got to get me ready to be able to play third base, second base, first base. And he proceeded to go out with his fungo and a bucket of balls every morning around 7:30 a.m. on a backfield. And he peppered me, worked on my footwork, which I think if you're going to be a good infielder and you watch good infielders around the major leagues, you're going to watch their footwork because your feet get your hands in a good position to field a ground ball. And that's what I worked on with Perry Hill. He constantly just hounded on me to get my feet in good position. And eventually I got good enough to move all over the diamond, and he taught me certain techniques about turning a double play at second base. He taught me how to play first base, which is much more complicated than I ever anticipated. And I owe a lot of credit to him. He was a great coach and still a very good friend. I still talk to him to this day. He's an instructor in the offseason, but he is a huge asset. And like you heard Carl Pavano talking about, he's a huge asset for pitchers too. He's helping those guys out. Everything he does is to get outs. His favorite number is 27, and the reason that is because you got to get 27 outs to win a ball game.
I like that. He is the first base coach as well as the infield coach for the Marlins. You saw him there with a towel around his neck. Perry Hill, very big influence on Jeff Blum's career and so many players in the major leagues throughout his time as a coach at the big league level. 6-1 game. Marwin Gonzalez leading things off against Dustin McGowan, new pitcher for the Miami Marlins. McGowan continues to come back from unbelievable injuries throughout his career. In fact, last year, as a member of the Marlins, ended up winning the Hutch Award for Fred Hutchison, continuing perseverance throughout his career with shoulder injuries and other injuries, kind of derailing what was a promising start to the 2005 first rookie season for McGowan. But here he is 12 years later, still pitching despite all those injuries. Gonzalez swings and misses. McGowan gets a strikeout for the first out. Dustin will feature that slider along with a fastball and a changeup. When you talk about Perry Hill and changing you to be more versatile, as you look at McGowan's numbers last year with the Marlins, were you then, was it an uncomfortable transition to go to the outfield? Did you find, did you have to get an outfielder's glove? Did you use this?
No, going to the outfield was the worst transition. I said that just because I wanted to be on the team,
right.
And I would hit the ball to me on the ground. And there's a guy here in camp, Adam Everett, who played shortstop with me with the Houston Astros on the left side. We have a running joke. When the ball was hitting the air, we just stare at each other and go, you take it. Because neither one of us really enjoyed when the ball was in the air, and I'm not sure why. I made plays, but it was not the easiest transition going to the outfield. I would much rather have a rocket hit to me on the ground as opposed to a line drive or a pop fly in the gap where I had to go chasing after it. Just felt unnatural to me.
Colin Moran's a guy who plays a lot of positions for the Astros, getting a chance to hit here. It's it's got to be, and just all the hours you spend with the guy, it's got to be a labor of love for Perry Hill. He's one of those guys.
Oh, he loves it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this guy is a baseball guy. He loves it. He knows the game. And Carl was talking about how he moved position players. We would go out before the game, and we would pick out spots on the field where, if I was playing shortstop, where I'd play if this guy was up. We'd go through the lineup and try and figure out if I was going to play Barry Bonds to pull, if I was going to play a Sammy Sosa a little more straight up because of the what part of the season we were in. He kept track of everything. But Marwin Gonzalez is the guy for the Houston Astros who I have a great deal of respect for, because he's that guy that moves all over the infield. But if you're going to be that versatile utility guy, you have got to be willing to put in the work. And Perry Hill was one of those guys that instilled that work ethic in me.
2-2 the count on Colin Moran as you look at the Marlins coach who we've been talking about, Perry Hill. We've got a 6-1 Marlins lead. Marlins have scored in 4 of the 5 innings today. Run in the first inning, 3 runs in the second on a 3-run home run by Miguel Rojas. Then a sacrifice fly scored the run in the 4th off the bat of Rojas again. He has 4 RBIs. And then a solo home run opposite field from Christian Yelich. Astros' lone run came on a base hit by Yuli Gurriel to score Josh Reddick in the second. 3-2 the count after getting behind in the count 0-2. Colin Moran has worked it back to full. Moran flied out his first time up. Hits for the Astros include that RBI single by Gurriel, and then a Carlos Beltran base hit that ended his afternoon as he was pinch run for by Derek Fisher.
You know what I'm noticing was that with a couple of the hitters, and one of them being Colin Moran right here, is his hands are a little bit quieter this season. And I'm not sure if that was an intention going into the offseason where he worked on it and then brought it to spring training. But Max Stassi is another guy that comes to mind. He's changed his bat angle when he starts his swing a little bit differently. Marwin Gonzalez is another guy, usually left-handed, started with his hands almost around belt high, and then as he loaded would bring them up, but his hands are starting at a little bit higher position. And another guy that has actually benefited from it is Jake Marisnick. He is trying to work on his launch angles. He's trying to get to the ball a little bit quicker. So instead of really creating a large hitch in his swing, he is starting his hands a little bit further back. And I think that these quieter hands allow your head to stop moving a little bit, allows that timing to maybe get back to you a little bit quicker.
It's funny you mentioned that because A.J. Hinch was saying the same thing. And you hadn't heard him talk about that, but he was talking about the swing plane and how the hands look a lot more quiet and how the swing in general looks a lot better this spring for Moran.
Well, you want to be quick to the baseball, but these guys always talk about how they can stay through the zone longer and create a little bit better path through the strike zone. And sometimes it's maybe starting a little bit further back so you don't have to have that big hitch and rush the barrel through the zone. Because sometimes if you start the hands a little bit lower and come up to your load, you're in the zone, out of the zone, kind of creating a V-shaped type swing in and out of the zone as opposed to a nice smooth arc through the zone.
He's giving McGowan a battle here at 3-2. Couple of foul balls with a full count. This one fair, but on the ground to Justin Bour, and that'll be the second out of the inning. Bour still in there for the Marlins. They've made a few changes. Guys that have already hit a third time are out of the game. So D. Gordon no longer at second base. Martin Prado out at third, and Christian Yelich no longer in center field. Yefty Perez is at second. Brian Anderson is at third, and Isaac Galloway is the center fielder. A lot of Astros probably will have their afternoon end after the third at bat as well. That means this could be the last we see of George Springer, who is 0 for 2, ground out and flied out on a nice play down the line by Marcell Ozuna. Swings at the first pitch and pops it high in the air. Ozuna and Galloway converge. Who wants it? It's Galloway who takes control at the last second and puts it away for the final out. That'll do it for the Houston Astros. In the bottom half of the 5th inning, we have a 6-1 Marlins lead heading to inning number 6. Head to the 6th inning. Beautiful shot prior to this game starting this morning. This is a beautiful, just for the amount of time it took them to build this, and construction started a year and 3 months ago. It's a remarkable facility.
No. Just to give you an idea, 15 months, it took me 2 years in California to build a house. So what they've done, I find truly remarkable. I mean, this is an amazing facility, the technology and all of the fan-friendly stuff they have, the concourses and things like that. They've done a great job.
New pitcher for the Astros is 25-year-old left-hander Raymond Gudwan. Gudwan was very impressive in his spring training debut over the weekend. This guy has an electric left arm. The key for him is being able to find the strike zone. Gudwan will face Justin Bour, Marcell Ozuna, and Derek Dietrich. There's a bullet off the shoulder or arm of Jonathan Singleton. John Singleton could not make the play, and that'll allow Bour to reach. Right now, let's check in with Julia Morales with a special guest.
Hello, I have George Springer with us, whose day is done after 5. Good day?
Yeah, obviously this is first time in the stadium for me, so it was good to get out there, face some good arms today.
Yeah, and you were playing center field. Outfield was a little different today for you. You've got Beltran on your right and left field, and then you've got Josh Reddick over there. How was it?
It's interesting. Obviously you've gotten accustomed to having Jake and a few other good guys out there, and ball's foul. So, but it was cool. Obviously we went and got these guys in the off season. It's pretty cool to be out there with them.
What do you think of Beltran and left? The ball found him right away, of course.
He needs some oil on his joints, but he'll be all right. He needs some oil on that body of his, but he'll be all right.
And he had a homer yesterday, though. So
yeah, I guess he was oiled up then, but obviously that first inning was a little struggle for him. Then he got burned by D. Gordon. That looked like a balk to me, but hey.
I love the play-by-play. George not afraid to get after anyone on his team. I hear Alex Bregman is still getting the rookie treatment. Is this true?
Because he is one still. I mean, he only how do you play, like 50-something games? That doesn't count. Yeah, you have some fun with him. He deserves it. He sets himself up for it. Jake still gets the Jake treatment just because it's Jake. And then anybody after that is a toss-up because you don't want to mess with anybody because they've got some time in. So it's mainly Jake or Bregman. Yeah.
Well, now Josh Reddick, I hear, is in on this too. A little bit of a prankster.
I'm not going to say much to that, but he likes to have some fun, which is obviously cool. I like to keep things light and basically just make fun of Bregman.
As far as we've already talked about a couple new guys on your team, and you talk about them like you know them, and it's only been a few weeks. But what do you think of all the new faces and all the new arms and bats that you have in the club?
It's cool, to see the direction the organization is heading. The direction our team is going. Obviously this is only like our 4th spring game, and we're going to start to play here soon. It's exciting to see things start to shape up.
For you, offensively, what's your process as spring training goes along? What are you trying to do as the games progress?
Swing hard, hope I hit it. No.
I know.
The goal is just to get a good pitch to hit. To try to put myself into a good count. And then just put a good swing on it. You can't get too caught up in results now. It's obviously still early. So as long as you can feel good and put some good swings on a ball, it's a productive day.
I would enjoy a game where you guys just swing as hard as you can and hope you hit it.
It happens 162 plus times. Sometimes we hit it, sometimes we don't. That's just the reality of it,
I want a spring training game like that. That's just the goal for everyone.
No, spring training's brutal. You don't want to come out here and swing as hard as you can because then you just look bad. In season, you want to hit some homers. That's the goal.
There's so much truth here. We're learning so much about you, George. Thank you for the time. I'm going to give it back up to Todd.
All right. That was one of the best interviews I've ever heard.
He's the brutal honesty is hilarious. I mean,
it.
we're giggling. I'm giggling because it's so true. Spring training, you're just like, oh man, here we go. You know, you're not going through the motions, but you know it's a necessary evil.
Right.
But oh man, swing hard in case you hit it. I mean, that's keeping it simple.
Tyler Moore is the batter, and there's a.
He said spring training is brutal.
There was no filter. There's zero filter.
And you love that he said it in the 4th game in the spring training. There's only 29 more to go, George.
Oh, my goodness. I like that he, and Julia can speak on this, too, if you want, Julia. I like the fact that Josh Reddick right away, he loves to have a good time, and this clubhouse embraces guys that like to have a good time.
Oh, yeah, Club Astro. I mean, you know, going in, the history is there. The precedent has been set. George is the keeper of the club, and you better be ready to have some fun in that Astro clubhouse.
Julia, is Jake always the one that's the recipient, and now Alex, or does he give it back a little?
Yeah, no, you know, it's been interesting to see Alex being brought into this and being one that they pick on, because it has been Jake Marisnick for a couple of years now, and really no one else. And so for him to be able to share some of it, yeah. And you know, what's fun I've been able to see Alex Bregman and Jake Marisnick get really close in their friendship and how they hang out. And you saw them in the off season at Rockets games. So it's funny that they just. They have a really good time, and along with George Springer, that's one little group. It'll be interesting to see if Josh Reddick moves into that little group. They're fun, and it's always been a fun outfield with this team as long as I've been around. The personalities that have come through have been so interesting, but they get along so great. I mean, you guys know they have to have their own chemistry out there, and they always have. So it'll be fun to watch this one develop.
Well, Jose Altuve and Jake Marisnick had something going with the hat situation last year. Are they going to continue that, or are they mixing it up?
That was fun. That was, you know, they would steal each other's hats and just try to throw them as far as they could. And it got to the point where Altuve was taking Jake's hat and throwing it in the stands.
In the stand, that's never coming back.
Yeah, no chance you're getting that back. and Jake's fast too. I mean, he would come out of nowhere. He'd be like the Flash in the middle of, you know, I'd be doing an interview with Altuve after the game and just see a blur of Jake Marisnick fly by with that hat. And it's just good times with these guys, you know. What do you say?
And those are the pranks and the jokes and the good times that we can see.
Right.
I know from playing on 6 different teams, there's more good times to be had behind the scenes for these guys, and that it does. If you do it right, it creates a very cohesive, fun unit.
I'm looking forward to Reddick. And there's a ball by Gudwan that gets away from Tyler Heineman, the catcher. I'm looking forward to Reddick as he evolves. He's already pretty comfortable, but he said probably no shaving cream pies like he did with the Oakland A's. Probably not going to come out to Careless Whisper, which was the iconic walk-up song. So he's kind of trying to have a whole new vibe here with Houston, but as he gets more and more comfortable, it's going to be on. He's going to be one of those guys that has as much fun as anybody.
Absolutely.
There he is out in right field. Still has the Spider-Man.
Yep.
Undershirt, the little
the onesie
workout shirt. Yeah, the onesie.
Josh did say he had some surprises coming the Astros' way. He's thinking up of some different things he can do with this club. You know, he's so big into the wrestling. Well, you know that he had the belt made, the championship belt made for the Dodgers. And he's trying to figure out something for the Astros. So
hey, infield in works there. How about that? A little play by Colin Moran to Tyler Heineman to cut down the runner Barnes at the plate. Brandon Barnes thrown out on the chopper. But yeah, Julia, I'm looking forward to. So here's another look. Let Blummer do his job first.
Well, ex-Astro Brandon Barnes in the infield in, less than 2 outs. Especially with 1 out, you try and force the issue and make the defense make a play on you, and Colin Moran did, cutting that run off at home plate. Great play by Heineman. Catch the ball, block the plate, swipe tag, he's out.
Mention Reddick's affinity for wrestling, Julia, and he may be coming out to a song that is a walk-up or a walk-in, I guess, if you're a wrestler, a walk-in song for one of his favorite wrestlers. That's what I'm hearing. But he's all about the wrestling.
Wait,
right?
which is? He told me his favorite wrestler. I just don't know them well enough.
What?
Triple
H.
Of course, Triple H.
But I'm not sure if that's going to be the song or not. You'll have to do some investigative reporting. But
Okay.
is the belt possibly coming back?
That's possibly coming. He's trying to find a way to do it with this team. Maybe get one in the Astros colors. The wheels are turning, I'll tell you that.
There goes the runner. Throw goes into center field on the stolen base attempt, and that will score a run for the Marlins as Tyler Moore crosses the plate with run number 7. Oh, Heineman on a little delayed steal tried to throw out the runner, and instead the throw goes into center field, and now the Marlins lead by 6. You know, you talked about your scorebook being out of control yesterday.
Yeah.
Mine today. I've taken on your.
It's contagious. It's brutal. Ball in the dirt. Ball kept in front by Heineman, but I'm not sure that he actually had a good enough grip to make that throw. Kind of forced the issue. During the regular season, too, by the way, Correa doesn't let that ball get by him. If you're a good middle infielder, spring training, you don't want to wear one. I know it's counterintuitive, and it doesn't do Heineman any good. But during the regular season, Carlos Correa will do a better job of keeping that ball in front, keeping runners only advancing 90 feet as opposed to 180.
Now the count's 3-0. And this is Yefty Perez, that's JT Riddle, the batter. Riddle walks on 4 pitches. We've seen 2 walks this inning from Raymond Gudwan, and that is the one issue he's had in his minor league career. This guy has the arm to pitch at the big league level. He has to be able to manage the strike zone. And with that walk, A.J. Hinch, after 21 pitches, will get the ball from his young left-hander. The Marlins have scored in 5 of the 6 innings so far and lead it 7-1. We'll have a new Astros pitcher when we come back to the ballpark of the Palm Beaches after this. Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Today, the place we're going to is the ballpark of the Palm Beaches as we welcome you back to a 7-1 Marlins lead. Raymond Gudwan, through 21 pitches, walked a couple, allowed a base hit. He's out of the game. And the new pitcher for the Houston Astros is 26-year-old right-hander Aaron West.
47 appearances out of the bullpen for the Astros between AA and AAA. When he was with Corpus Christi in 2016, recorded 15 saves before getting the call up to Fresno, pitching in AAA.
West was drafted by the Astros in the June 2012 draft out of University of Washington. He's from the Washington area. Snohomish High School is where he attended. First batter he will face is the top of the order, Yefty Perez, getting his first at bat, taking over at second base for D. Gordon. Almost all the Marlins are out of the game now. The Astros still have Colin Moran and Carlos Correa, who started the game on the left side of the infield. And Josh Reddick, who started the game in right field, remains in the game for Houston. Pickoff attempt, and diving back safely is JT Riddle. Aaron West takes over for Raymond Gudwan with runners on first and third. We saw Chris Davinsky, the starting pitcher, last an inning and a third. And then we saw Francis Martes, who came out of the bullpen for the third and part of the fourth inning. There's a called strike. We've also seen Gudwan and now Aaron West taking over here in the sixth. A lot of Marlins offense today, not as much on the Astros side, just a Yuli Gurriel RBI single. Pitch is down and in, and 2-1 the count.
Spring training is a little bit different for these guys that come in later games. We know that usually that starting lineup are the veteran guys or the guys who are in position to have a spot on the roster definitely and be in the lineup. And then you kind of have that second wave of players that comes in. Might be some minor league prospects coming over, getting a chance to play. Some guys that have earned the right by playing their way into these big league invites. And the difference is these guys are coming in. These are paramount opportunities for these guys to make an impression. Maybe not going to make the team out of spring, but if they leave a good impression in spring with their work ethic and the results that they go out there and get, it may be a mid-season call-up. If injuries present themselves, they're going to revert back to the last impression they had of a guy in spring training. And these are situations these guys are pitching in. They're not pitching in to work on anything. This is a first and third situation with 2 outs for Aaron West, and he's trying to get the out.
Perez battling at the plate, fouls one back with 2 strikes. We mentioned the previous pitchers for the Astros. Also, Kevin Chapman was in this game, the lefty. Pitched an inning and a third. All the Astros pitchers have allowed at least 1 run, with the exception of the kid who wore number 99 out of University of North Carolina. Trent Thornton came on and picked up 2 outs, and the 2 batters he faced, D. Gordon and Martin Prado.
Game's easy.
Right, for him. 2-2 pitch, staying alive is Perez. Perez and all the Marlins, you may have noticed during the course of the game, wearing their special uniforms with the number 16 in a circle above their heart, above the M in Miami, the second M. And that, of course, is in honor of their fallen star pitcher, their ace, Jose Fernandez, who tragically late last year lost his life in a boating accident. He will be sorely missed by the Marlins and the entire baseball world. 2-2 pitch is low. It's 3-2.
Well, we talked about Giancarlo Stanton being one of those guys that if you're walking by a TV set and you see his at-bat starting, you're going to stop. You're going to sit there and watch that AB. For me, Jose Fernandez was one of those pitchers. If you saw him on the mound, especially in that Miami Marlins ballpark where he was unbeatable, literally, you stopped and you watched. He was electric on the mound. The way he went about his job was it was electric. He had wipeout stuff, but there was a true enthusiasm that exuded from him on how he played the game. He was a lot of fun to watch.
He enjoyed playing the game of baseball as much as any player.
I agree.
In Major League Baseball. And that joy, that passion he had for the game and for life is something that it still resonates in the Marlins clubhouse. It was a very difficult end of the season last year for this team.
And that's hard to replace because you're playing 162 games over 180 plus days, and you're in there and you have that kind of energy around you that often. It's going to rub off on other guys. You're going to have moments in August that we call the dog days where you're dragging a little bit, you're slumping, you're miserable, legs are aching, my arm is killing me. But then you get around somebody who has a personality like that is enjoying the game and understands the true just joy of playing a game like that. It rubs off on you.
Brian Anderson is the batter for the Marlins with the bases loaded, 2 outs. Aaron West trying to get out of a jam that was begun with Raymond Gudwan on the mound. Anderson is a top prospect for the Marlins, young third baseman drafted out of Arkansas Razorback was taken in the 2014 draft in the 3rd round.
Woo Pig Suey.
Woo Pig.
My little brother's an alumni of Arkansas, much like Dallas Keuchel.
There you go.
Yeah.
Keuchel threw a live BP today on the backfields. You heard Lance McCullers being interviewed by Colin McHugh earlier. He's thrown a couple of live BPs. Those guys are slowly getting their work in, and they're on a little different schedule than the Fires and Davinskys and guys, Peacocks, who will make another appearance tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they would have been slow in prepping for the season anyways because of the injuries they had last season at the end of the year. But also, this is the WBC spring training where there is a little bit of an extension to the spring training, so there's no urgency in getting those guys ready. They want to pace themselves a little bit, build up that strength before they get on that mound and really start trying to grind out a full season. Because we know that those 2 guys are the top 2 main cogs in that rotation for the Houston Astros.
And you are hoping that it's well deep into October.
Yes, you get 32 to 35 starts out of those guys, you have had a very good season and you will be in contention.
Called 3rd strike, outside corner. Aaron West gets Brian Anderson looking for the final out of the 6th inning. Marlins leave the bases loaded. We head to the bottom of the 6th. The Fish lead the Stros 7-1.
We are back here in West Palm, and the Marlins leading the Houston Astros 7-1 as we head into the bottom of the 6th inning. Astro fans, create memories, have fun, and catch all of the excitement in West Palm Beach as the Astros make the brand new ballpark of the Palm Beaches their spring training home. The site includes many fan-friendly and many state-of-the-art amenities. For tickets and more information, visit astros.com/springtraining. Phenomenal site, getting all the last-minute screws and bolts put in. Make sure the taps are tapped.
Yes.
And the fans are ready for some good baseball.
Yeah.
Lounge chairs are key out here. These things look great up on that berm.
That's a good look right there.
They actually have those in the booth for us right now as we watch this game. We're chilling right now in those. At least in my mind we are.
We are, yeah. I'm kind of imagining. You know, we're a month and 2 days away from the opener.
They're excited.
Less than 5 weeks. Less than 5 weeks. We're going to have real baseball. I'm excited about spring training, too, because we get to work together. We get to work out our rhythm here, although it's flowing pretty well so far. Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
Those people were waiting for the lounge chairs and just never got their turn.
Hear that? They were here a little early and had some pregame workout in. You know, in the backfields when you're doing some of these stretches in spring training, especially late in spring, we'd like to call that stretch the sun stretch.
We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Brian Ellington is the new pitcher for the Marlins. Derek Fisher will get another AB for Houston as we see Fisher, and then Carlos Correa more than likely will be his last at bat. And Josh Reddick also expecting to see his last at bat this inning, so some of the regulars still in the game. Fisher took over as a pinch runner for Carlos Beltran, who was on base twice today, a walk and a single. Beltran's now been on base 3 of the 4 plate appearances this early spring. Carlos had a chance to play left field. George Springer with some good natured ribbing of the veteran. That's also a good sign in the clubhouse. When a 39-year-old veteran with a pedigree of Carlos Beltran comes in, and George Springer can make him wear it a little bit by saying he needs to oil up a little bit before that.
Well, I was going to say, George better be prepared because some of those veteran guys are over-prepared, and there will be some repercussions once that interview makes its way into the clubhouse. But, Yeah, I think in baseball especially, you can't live in that glass house. You have to be prepared to take it as well as dish it.
2-1 the count to Derek Fisher. Fisher with a stolen base after he pinch ran in the third inning. Now the count is 2-2.
But yeah, that shows a cohesive unit. You're a good personality if you know you can give somebody a little bit of grief and have that just good old-fashioned, boyhood ribbing going on. It's a good way to get to know somebody's personality real quick, too.
Right. Little pop-up third base side, and Brian Anderson makes the play right in front of the stands. And Fisher is retired. First out here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. So we'll see Carlos Correa for another AB as we look at a pretty nice play here by the Marlins third baseman.
It was good, young kid getting a chance to play here, but going over it, playing the corner positions, infield and outfield, is not easy at some of these ballparks. Spring training is a little more intimate setting, so the stands are a little bit closer, but here at the Palm Beaches, you've got a little extended ground in that foul territory for the infielder, as opposed to what we saw Carlos Beltran deal with earlier in the game, where the left field stands really jut out and come towards that foul line.
Ball hit well into right center field. The wind knocking it down a little bit. It still one hops over the fence, and Carlos Correa has a ground rule double. We have not seen a home run leave to right field. That's probably the best bolt we've seen to that side of the field in 2 games here.
Yeah, wind the last 2 games that we've seen has blown pretty well from right field to left field, corner to corner. This ball was driven to the opposite field gap. Carlos Correa obviously has power to all fields. Pretty comfortable going that way. That would have ended up deep into the bullpen at Minute Maid Park. But for right now, just a lousy ground rule double.
So he will leave the game. Pinch runner is Reed Brignac at second base. Correa ends the day 1 for 2. Also drew a walk. So here's Josh Reddick. Good way to finish his afternoon with that well-struck double to right center. Reddick has scored the Astros' lone run when he walked, stole a base, and came around to score on a single by Yuli Gurriel back in the second inning. He's also flied out, so officially 0 for 1. A little cross up there between the pitcher Brian Ellington and the catcher Tomas Tellis. A little foul ball that's going to fall harmlessly right behind the tarpaulin in left field. Little word from the manager to his star shortstop.
Yeah, this is Carlos, you're good. You're really good. You're tall, you're handsome. You can drive the ball out of the ballpark the other way. Just keep doing what you're doing, kid.
Really going to miss you when you go to Team Puerto Rico?
Yeah, seriously. Do you have to go? I have revoked your passport. You will no longer be allowed.
All right, these guys have to get on the same page here.
My goodness, yeah. Some early work on signs.
We had the commissioner yesterday. He would not be pleased with the pace of this inning.
Not at all. And this is one of the things I think they could really work on is the meetings at the mound with the players.
How do you work on it?
Don't let them do it.
Just
or have the whole plate umpire with a leash around him or a lasso and pull him back in.
Just don't
talk about entertainment. That's how you keep kids engaged.
Just don't let them do it. That's a solution. Josh Reddick sends one deep to center field. Pretty well struck, but the center fielder gets back in time and makes the play. That is Isaac Galloway. Going over to third base is Brignac. So even though Reddick's retired, that one struck pretty well for his final AB. We'll assume he's not playing all 9 today. And there's 2 away here in the 6th with a runner on third. A.J. Reed will pinch it for Evan Gattis as the designated hitter. Reed gets his first AB of the afternoon. Chance for a 2-out RBI for A.J.
Have you stood next to A.J. Reed yet?
Yep.
He is a massive human being.
Yes, he is. Some big first basemen.
Yeah.
We've got Singleton, we got A.J., we got some big first basemen in that clubhouse.
What is he, all of about 6'5", 250? Just a mountain of a man.
Played some first base yesterday, getting a chance to spell Evan Gattis here. Gattis, while he was in there, lined out his last at bat, also popped up 0 for 2. Good change up there from Ellington. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ellington's mostly fastball. 76% of his pitches are fastballs, but change the pace right there.
I always felt that a 1-0, 2-1 count was a very good off-speed count when I was a left-handed hitter. If a guy had a good changeup, that's typically when I saw it.
Tough to lay off. You're geared up for something in the middle.
Well, you figure you're getting the count in your favor, and he's got to throw a strike. But if they have confidence in that off-speed pitch, they're playing off the psyche that you're talking about, where you're sitting on the fastball.
Ellington is a kid who has some experience in international baseball, 2015 Pan Am Games. That pitch misses inside, and the count is 3-1.
And 2-0 and 3-1 counts these days have turned into a secondary pitch count for some of these guys too. They're not as daring with that fastball as early on in my career, where guys would challenge people. If they have an excellent secondary pitch that they can throw for a strike, they usually throw it, trying to work on the aggressiveness of the hitter.
He did throw a fastball, but it was so far out of the zone that A.J. Reed had no chance to offer at it. So Reed will draw a walk. 1st and 3rd now for the Astros. Orbit's on the video scoreboard here. We did not see that yesterday because
Orbit is everywhere.
The Nationals pretty much ran the show as the home team yesterday. Today it's an Astros home game.
Yeah, he was down there hanging out with Screech.
Yeah, he and Screech had a good time yesterday.
Not from Saved by the Bell.
That would be an interesting mascot.
Yeah, that'd be
First at bat for Tyler Heineman, has a chance for an RBI here. 1st and 3rd, and he swings through the off-speed delivery. That looked like a good curveball featured by Ellington. 0-1. Marlins have scored in the 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and lead this game 7-1. Oh, 2. So he goes curveball changeup. Not fair for a guy getting his first at bat of the day.
Yeah, but it's not about Heineman for Ellington.
No,
it's about that ERA. He's like, I am not going to let this kid beat me. But he's down 0-2. He's still got a fighting chance as long as you have 1 strike left if you're Heineman. But it's interesting to see the walk before, lost control of the fastball, went to 2 off-speed pitches and finds himself ahead 0-2.
Tried to finish him with a fastball, just missed the corner, and it's now 1-2. So if you're a hitter, you have no idea right now.
And that was borderline right there. I'm not sure if I would have trusted the umpire not to call that a strike.
I think Paul Nark got it right, though.
Yeah.
Heineman stays alive, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tyler Heineman took over for Max Stassi. We originally thought Brian McCann was going to be in the lineup behind the dish, but Brian not feeling well today, so took the day off. Max Stassi ended up being the starter. He went 0 for 2. And now the 25-year-old switch hitting catcher Tyler Heineman getting his first at bat. Last year spent his time in AAA Fresno organization, played 73 games there. And he sends one into foul territory. Is it playable or not? Not quite. It hits the tarpaulin just beyond Brian Anderson. And the count remains 1-2. Heineman, really strong defensive catcher. Last year with Fresno. Hit .259 in 72 games. 3 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Only run of the game scored on a Yuli Gurriel single back in the 2nd. Only run for the Astros, that is. 1-2 pitch into center field. Galloway back. He'll have a play about 10 feet in front of the warning track, and that'll do it for Houston in the bottom of the 6th inning. So the Astros threaten but fail to score. We head to inning 7. It's 7-1 Marlins. Welcome back to the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. From West Palm Beach, Florida, Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum, Julia Morales alongside in the dugout. I was going to say gathering interviews, but we haven't had one yet. I think the players have done a good job avoiding her today, Plummer. We kind of...
Well, it's part of spring training. So, you know, it's training to avoid that.
Oh my.
I'm kidding.
Wow. Now I'm getting crushed. George Springer pretty much won the day.
That's right.
Yeah,
you had Springer. Springer, you dropped the mic after that one.
I know, right?
What?
I
Yeah, nothing's
cannot-
going to top that.
Yeah, right.
So that's a good point. And I think we kind of hurt you that we had so many guests in the booth. I don't think you had much play there for a few innings. So we didn't do you any favors either. Yeah, Springer won the day. Today was George Springer Day. Unless something happens positive for the Astros in the last 3 innings, that is our highlight today.
He was good. He is real good.
Here's a ball in the left field, well hit off the bat of Galloway, and this ball is well gone beyond the berm on top of the walkway. That is a long home run off the bat of Isaac Galloway.
Gosh, the Chiquita Banana Man took a digger.
He made an effort.
That's what you could call it, an effort.
It's hard to walk. It's like Towles Hill, but a little bit steeper.
Oh, man, he's going to have rotator cuff surgery after trying to track that one down.
His friends are having a good time on his fall that he had going after that home run.
Yes, thank you very much.
He got the ball, though. It wasn't pretty.
No.
It wasn't the form you're looking for, but it resulted in a baseball hit by a major leaguer, or at least
bomb.
Watch
too.
this effort. Watch this.
Yep. Oh, he loses the shades. Look at him make the adjustment and then just face plant. Actually, he's lucky he went down right there. Else that 2x4 would have wiped him out.
The guy right there in the blue shirt just was howling as soon as his buddy went down. He not only fell down, he ran into the 2x4.
Well, it's like the guy in the blue shirt should be ashamed because he didn't have the camera ready. Now he's going to have to steal our feed to get that video.
That could go viral.
That was a good one.
That was a good face plant. Right?
It's spring training for everybody.
He did throw the shades away.
Yeah.
How about that move?
Get a better visual on it. Maybe he didn't want to ruin him. He went face first.
Actually, it was a great move.
Can't lose the Wayfarers on this.
The shades would have been in 2 pieces at this point when he went into that 2x4.
Oh, man.
That was a good moment. We may have had our second best moment other than the Springer interview. 1-2 the count.
That was great.
On Moises Sierra, and there's a called strike. So West comes back after allowing the home run and picks up a strikeout.
In case you missed it, can't get enough. Look at him.
So he never even got the ball. It was the security guy, or the concession guy gave him the ball.
No, he's getting blown up because this. You are now famous.
What? I mean,
Watch the glasses.
He doesn't. It's this guy. I wish I could circle him. It's the other guy in the yellow shirt, the gentleman who's working here. I'm the guy in the team store. I just noticed that. The guy in the team store out there didn't react until the ball almost hit them. Oh, now look. He's on TV. You guys aren't going to believe this.
Yeah, they're replaying my... Remember that time you turned yourself into a lawn dart? I mean, how about the beauty of modern technology? I mean, it's 2 minutes later, and this guy is watching his own replay.
He's got a crowd around him out there.
Oh, man. Dig me session right here.
That is great. I give him a lot of credit for the effort. Even though it wasn't pretty, the shades went away. He ended up with the baseball, and now he's getting a lot of airtime on Root Sports. So it's been a good day as he took a nosedive into the palm tree.
But you're right, though. I mean, the initial reaction to take off the shades and go for it was pretty impressive, and then it was just a yard sale after that.
We've got Brandon Barnes at the plate, and it's a 8-1 game, which is why we're focusing on. You call him Chiquita Banana right out of the gate.
You got to notice the subtle, the shirt, Chiquita Banana.
How about Aaron West striking out 2 batters back-to-back after we've been paying attention to the guy in center field? Chiquita Banana shirt. I don't know. How did you see
Julia,
that?
Julia, there's your next interview.
I know. I'm crying down here.
Oh, finally the paramedic asks him if he's okay. Right. You left your shoulder at the top of the hill. You okay?
Oh, my goodness. Destin Wood is the batter. Paramedics checking in. Everything's okay. Thumbs up. We're all good out here. 8-1 game. The Marlins have scored in every inning but the third. And we have a fan who may be making some highlight reels tonight based on his effort in left center field.
That was spectacular.
There's no more Towels Hill, but for a day we had a fan try and make a catch going uphill, and it didn't work in his favor. But he ended up with a baseball, and we're ending up with a throw in the dirt that gets beyond Singleton. J.D. Davis' throw is a little low, and Jonathan Singleton could not scoop it, so we continued the inning with Destin Hood reaching base. These guys are having a blast. That's the best part of their day. I mean, there's nobody in the berm except for those 6 people crowded around the camera, or the phone.
Oh, man. Yeah, the Wolverines have been represented out there. We got the Detroit Tiger hat, the Michigan T-shirt, then another Michigan hat. But that's one way to enjoy your spring break.
That was the home run that started the inning by Isaac Galloway that set us off on a little fun tangent. Here comes Tyler Moore at the plate, and there's a called strike. I would think, Aaron, this would be the final batter of this outing. We'll see how it plays out, but AJ's been trying to limit his bullpen guys to around 30 pitches. I think Aaron West is approaching that. He's at 27 now, so we'll see how much further he goes as Moore taps a foul ball. It's 0-2. Springer and Chiquita Banana, 2 highlights of this broadcast. What's happened on the field? Not so much.
Yeah, offensively for the Houston Astros, not so much.
Pitching-wise, we had Trent Thornton get a couple of outs, but other than that, every other pitcher has allowed at least 1 run. There was an unearned run allowed by Raymond Goudouin.
If you ever needed another reason to show up to the ballpark, it's that. You never know what you're going to get. You could have face plants in the outfield. You could have great defense. You could have good pitching. Orbit's here cruising around. So, I mean, nothing but a good time to be had at the ballpark, especially in spring.
It wasn't just the face plant. It was the fact that he landed at the base of a palm tree. That added to it. It wasn't just
the degree of difficulty.
The degree of difficulty was strong. After allowing the home run, we end up with 3 strikeouts in the inning for Aaron West. So that'll do it for the Marlins, but they tack on more as it's now 8-1. 7th inning stretch time at the ballpark of the Palm.
With TXU.
8-1 Marlins. We head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch time here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Looks like
Scene of the crime.
the scene of the crime. In
He
case
left a divot.
Looks like he did. Replace your divots.
Shut down the team store.
Yeah, how about that? The team store was open.
Yeah.
Now it's
like
closed.
We've seen enough.
We have
We're out
had
here.
too much fun out here. Julia's going to effort. We're not sure what's going to happen, but Julia's going to effort.
The fact that she's even efforting, I appreciate completely.
She is in Game 2 mode of spring training, but she is really in midseason form.
Yes.
We have a new pitcher for the Miami Marlins, and that will be the right-hander, Scott Copeland, 29-year-old, out of Southern Miss. Pitched in the Orioles and the Blue Jays organizations before joining the Miami Marlins. And the first batter he faces is Jonathan Singleton, who will roll ground one to the right side, and that is played by Nefty Perez for the first out. So one pitch, one out for Copeland, who comes on in the 7th inning of a game that has been decidedly in the favor of the Miami Marlins, 8-1. They have scored a single run in 5 innings and a 3-run home run by Miguel Rojas in the 2nd. Alejandro Garcia is the batter, getting his first at bat. Garcia playing in left field. Julia has made her way out to the berm already. What do you have for us, Julia?
I made it.
Yes.
Okay, first I'm gonna say this is a steep hill that I had trouble walking down, so I can't imagine running up, and that's what Alex had to do to try to make that grab earlier. Alex, take us through the play.
Well, I'm not going to go ahead and blame the hill. I'm definitely going to blame my lack of athletic ability. But here's what actually happened. I was talking to Isaac Galloway out here in center field. I was asking him for a ball during last inning, and he thought, you know what, that kid out there, he really needs something to come home from this game with. So I just went after it when he put it out there for me. He did hit it a little too hard for me, though, so that's where the tree came into play. And at that point, things started to go awry.
That tree, I was going to say, it seemed like it came out of nowhere. Weren't ready for that one.
Well, see, I guess the grounds crew decided to put that in there just now because this is a new stadium and everything. It wasn't here when we got to this part of the field, so pretty crazy activity for them.
Are you all right?
Oh, I'm totally fine. I got a ball. I'm friends with Isaac Galloway now, so best case scenario if you ask me.
Okay, you look like you knew it was coming. You tossed your sunglasses off.
I just wanted to make it look more athletic than it really was. You know, when you're running fast out here on the baseball field, your hat will come off sometimes. So I just thought I'd get more into the spirit of spring training. I was really feeling the game. And it's been a while since I've been on a baseball diamond, so I thought I'd jump right in.
Alex, who are you? Where are you from?
I'm from Ridgewood, New Jersey. I go to school at University of Michigan. These are my friends. We are down here together on spring break. And we thought we'd come out here for a nice game, and now we're going home with a souvenir.
Thank you so much for the time. Any last comments you have on your amazing attempt out here?
Just want to make sure everybody knows that Isaac Galloway and I are best friends.
BFFs. All right, thank you so much for the time.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, guys. This is a nice spot out here, too.
Julia, you have won
Thank
today.
you, Julia. Yes.
The two best interviews, Alex from Michigan, University of Michigan, and George Springer from University of Connecticut. By far, the two highlights of our
she's
broadcast.
lounging on the berm in left center field having the time of her life. This is great.
Or the University of Michigan guys are having the time of their life, one or the other.
That is
the fact that Julia came out to see them.
I love spring training. This is great.
I love the fact that he did a good job, too.
He did.
He broke it down well. Made friends with the center fielder for the Marlins and ended up getting a home run and might be on a highlight show or two tonight.
Oh, absolutely. It's been the highlight of our broadcast.
Well, we don't set the
offense.
bar very high. We really don't set the bar. Let's be honest, Blover.
Oh, yeah.
We've got runner on base, J.D. Davis at the plate. While we were hearing from Alex from University of Michigan, it was a solid single by Alejandro Garcia. For the Astros, that's their 4th hit of the game. And for Garcia, nice little 1-for-1 day coming off the bench. And he is now in spring training, 2 for 5 with a couple of singles. So now J.D. Davis gets his first at bat. J.D. took over for Colin Moran, who was 0 for 2 at third base. And there's another pitch down low, just missed with a 3-2. So Davis draws a walk, and now the Astros have runners on first and second with 1 out in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
So usually when the action starts, you get some of these bigger numbers, no names on the jersey like we're seeing right here. And these guys come out on a mission. Create some issues. That was a bullet up the middle from Garcia. Good walk by J.D. Davis. Now you get a look at Jack Mayfield stepping in.
Jack Mayfield getting his first at-bat of the spring. He has come on as a defensive replacement and also as a pinch runner, but has not had an official at-bat. Actually scored a run. And the pitch misses to Mayfield, 1-0. Garcia on second, Davis on first. Bottom half of the 7th inning. All the starters for the Astros are out. The last 3 in the game were Carlos Correa, Josh Reddick, and I guess technically Evan Gattis, although George Springer was one of the last ones out because Gattis was pinch hit for in the 6th inning. But as a DH, you usually know an inning or so ahead of time if you're out. He probably was already back in the clubhouse at that point. 2-0 the count. Jack Mayfield with a chance here for an RBI. Runners on first and second and 1 away. Up the middle, that's a base hit for Jack Mayfield. Around third comes Garcia. He will score. Going to third, J.D. Davis. Mayfield into second. It's 8-2 on Jack Mayfield's RBI single. How about that? First at bat of the spring. Yeah.
That was beautiful. Good piece of hitting, not trying to do too much. Just shoot it right back up the middle, take your RBI. Nice piece of hitting. What was even better about this is some of the younger kids showing some good base running ability, going first to third for J.D. Davis. Garcia scoring on that base hit, but also the trail runner, Mayfield, making it into second base and putting himself into scoring position. That was beautifully done by the youngsters.
Boomer Sooner, University of Oklahoma product, Jack Mayfield with an RBI single. And now runners on second and third. Only 1 out. Batter is Derek Fisher. Fisher popped up his first at bat. Mayfield was born and still resides in Del Rio, Texas. So good chance for him. His family's watching back in Texas on Root Sports to do a little damage with the bat in his first at bat. And there's an RBI for Fisher, although probably wishes he kept the rally going with a base hit, but he ends up with an RBI ground out. That'll score J.D. Davis. So the Astros have played at 2 here in the 7th. It's now 8-3. And that'll bring up Reed Brignac.
This Reed Brignac story is amazing to me, that he's choosing to switch hit.
He is
this late in his career against big league pitching. It's unbelievable.
Age 31. Now this is his natural side. He has had over 5,000 plate appearances in his pro career from the left side. He is a lefty hitter. But after getting limited at bats the last few years, he has decided to at least give it a shot this spring and see where it takes him as a right-handed hitter, a switch hitter.
It's amazing. I started at 18 in Division I baseball with the California Bears, and that was not easy. I can't imagine trying to do it here.
Lines a single into center, does Brignac with his natural left-handed swing. And it's now 8-4. So the Astros trying to make a little rally here. Well, Reed has said occasionally he'll hit righty just to get his left-handed swing back. And you can watch here a little bullet up the middle just to keep on playing and not pull off and not swing uppercut as much on the left-handed swing. But he's used that as a tool in the cage, but never taken it into a game until this spring. He's 0 for 2 as a right-hand hitter, but gets an RBI single there, lefty. You started kind of late too. 18's not exactly an early age.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. And it was something that I threatened my college coach that I was going to quit. I was that bad at it. And he said, well, you stop hitting left-handed, I'll stop giving you scholarship checks. And I said, well, I will continue to hit left-handed. Thank you very much. And obviously it paid off and gave me a good career. So I thank him every time we go through Oakland by taking him out to breakfast. Bob Milano was a great influence on me. But it's a lot to ask. Luckily, Brignac is naturally talented left-handed. So not that he'll work less on that swing, but he can focus maybe a little bit less and focus on that right-handed swing, trying to get it right. But not easy to do. Going to go out and face some nasty left-handed pitching in the big leagues.
He's a natural right-hander when it comes to golf.
How about that?
And never felt comfortable swinging the baseball bat right-handed until trying it this year. And
so you're implying he's amphibious. I'm kidding.
Nice. Nicely done. We've got ourselves an 8-4 game all of a sudden. Astros putting up crooked number here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Batter right now is Teoscar Hernandez. Teoscar took over in right field for Josh Reddick. This is his first at bat. We saw Teoscar start the game yesterday for Houston as he played in right field, switched over to left in that game against the Marlins. Teoscar still looking for his first spring training hit. And he sends one in the air to right field, and coming on quickly and going out will be the second baseman Perez to make the play. So Perez in front of Destin Hood makes the play for the final out of the 7th inning. But the Astros score 3 to make it an 8-4 game. Reed Brignac wrapped up the scoring with an RBI single. Eight to 4 ball game as we head into the 8th inning from the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. 2017 Houston Astros season tickets are on sale now. Enjoy some of the best seats at Minute Maid Park. Save money and receive great benefits throughout the season. Call 1-877-ASTROS or visit astros.com/tickets to purchase your seats. Astros trying to rally back in this game after trailing 8-1, score 3 in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Runs came home on an RBI single by Jack Mayfield. RBI ground out by Derek Fisher, and an RBI single by Reed Brignac. And now we head to the 8th, and the new arm out of the Astros bullpen is right-hander Jordan Jankowski, 27-year-old. Last year pitched for Fresno. Jankowski with a nice year last year at Fresno, 103 strikeouts. And there you see it in 71 1/3 innings.
Yeah, I was just looking at that myself. His K rate almost at 13 per 9.
51 games, a couple of starts with the Grizzlies. You can see the strikeouts per innings and a 206 batting average against. That is a dominant season for Jankowski. Pitched Sunday against the Braves in Orlando. Pitched the 4th inning, did not allow a run in an inning. Allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, and he hit a batter. Worked out of a bases loaded situation. First batter he will face is Tomas Tellis, Marlins catcher, who took over for Austin Nola. Nola got 3 plate appearances, hit by a pitch, singled, and reached on a fielder's choice. He was on base all 3 times. Tellis in his first at bat goes the other way with a base hit. So he's a leadoff base runner for the Marlins. Seems like we've been saying that a lot. They had the leadoff runner on in the 6th, 7th, and now 8th, also in the 4th and the 1st. So 5 of the 8 innings the Marlins have had a leadoff runner on. That's part of the reason why they lead 8-4. JT Riddle with his second plate appearance walked his last time up. We have seen Miami hit 3 home runs today, all to left field or left center. In yesterday's game, we saw 3 home runs hit, 2 by the Nationals, 1 by the Astros, Carlos Beltran, all to left field or left center.
Sensing a theme.
We've got a trend going.
Yes.
The wind has been prevailing from right to left. Carlos Correa hit a bullet to right center. I don't know if it had the, I think with no wind it may have gotten out.
No, I agree with you. That ball was hit extremely well, but just not enough to cut through this wind.
Instead, it turned into a ground rule double. Solid way for Correa to end his afternoon. This ball's hit well to right, but coming in is Hernandez, and Teoscar makes the play. Pretty well hit by JT Riddle, but results in out number 1 here in the top half of the 8th inning.
Another strong spring training out.
You like those?
The older I got, you better believe I did.
Hit a bullet to somebody.
Oh,
feel
man.
good about yourself.
Survived.
Jordan Jankowski, second last year in the PCL amongst relievers and strikeouts with 103.
Too bad.
And he's a guy, Jankowski, who was originally drafted by Houston back in 2008 in the 34th round as a catcher coming out of high school. Felt like he wasn't ready to join pro ball, and that actually went to Miami of Ohio and became a pitcher there. Converted from a catcher to a pitcher, and would eventually, after a couple of years, transfer to Catawba College in North Carolina for his final 2 years. So 34th round pick as a catcher by the Astros in 08, doesn't sign, converts from a catcher to a pitcher, and then he is signed 4 years later in the 34th round.
That's a journey.
Exact same round he is selected by the Houston Astros again 4 years after he was drafted as a catcher. And there you see a good curveball for a called strike. It's 0-2. Fastball, slider, curveball guy. Ooh, locked him up. Back to back. Froze Yefty Perez. That is a strikeout and the second out of the inning.
Consistency. Obviously has good feel for that pitch. Went after it again. Got away with one maybe a little bit up in the zone in that 2-strike count. Still just effective. It doesn't have to be the ultimate in nastiness. It just got to throw that hitter's rhythm off a little bit.
Called strike outside corner, 0-1.
Jankowski's story is similar, but I mean eerily similar to a Steve Sparks story about how he became a pitcher. Wanted to go play college ball, went to college, I believe Sam Houston, and went to the tryouts. They had the 60-yard dash set up. He wanted to be an infielder, got in the 60-yard dash, took off running, and finished the race, and heard the coach rattle off the time, and he wasn't sure he heard him right, and goes back to him and goes, hey, you know, what'd you have on the time? And he goes, it was like a 7-point something. It was something ridiculously slow. And Sparky said, oh, wait, what? This is the infielders? Where are the pitchers at?
Really? Dropped that right out there?
He did.
Oh, that's smart.
Quick thinking on his feet, went over to where the pitchers were at, made the team as a pitcher, and the rest is history. He had big league time for 9-10 years as a big league pitcher.
That's a great story.
He tells it way better than I do, just because he's Steve Sparks and he is an amazing storyteller. But that's pretty much the basis of it.
That's good.
He went, oh, yeah? Oh, I'm in the wrong group.
Where are the arms supposed to be?
Yeah.
That's good. Brian Anderson down to count 1-2. Jankowski trying to work through a scoreless 8th. If he does, he'll be the first Astros pitcher to work through a scoreless inning. We have had one pitcher go unblemished, and that was Trent Thornton, who came on kind of as a Guy who wasn't expected to pitch today. Ward number 99, no name on his jersey, but when Chris Stavinsky didn't get out of the second inning after his pitch count was up, they went to Thornton. He retired 2 batters, but nobody's gone through a full inning scoreless until Jankowski. If Tony Kemp can make this play, he can't. The Marlins will tack on another run. That's a double all the way to the wall. Anderson stops at second. In to score is Tellis, and we have ourselves another Marlins run. They keep tacking on single runs in all these innings. Brian Anderson with a 2-out RBI.
Yeah, the way the scoreboard looks, that's called the picket fence. A little bit of a gate there in the 3rd inning with the 0 up there, but they have been tacking on runs when they've had the opportunity, and kind of gives you an idea of how the wind affects the baseball in flight, because that ball was not hit extremely well. We talked about Correa's possibly being hit better than that one, but because it's in that left center field gap, there's just enough air under it to push it away from Tony Kemp.
And in looking back at that swing, that was not a bad pitch.
Yeah.
By Jankowski. He had to go down and get that. Here's the guy, Isaac Galloway, that made Alex's day from University of Michigan.
And Chiquita Banana Man is up on his feet. He's ready for another one.
He is poised and ready for another home run. Galloway hit a bomb of a home run to left center field his last time up. And in case you're just joining us, our buddy right there standing with his Chiquita Banana shirt, Alex from University of Michigan, attempted to make a play, failed, ended up with a baseball and an interview from Julia Morales. So it was all in all a win, but at the time it was an epic fail.
You know, you see that replay constantly in your head. That I will forever be that guy that I just keep replaying in my head, just going face first into the base of that palm tree.
The agony of defeat.
Man.
But he became a star as our broadcast continued.
That's today's world.
Yeah, like you said, the fact that they were watching the video within a minute or two.
It's crazy.
When he took the tumble. 1-2 pitch is grounded foul.
Dude, it took me a day and a half to watch my old hitting tapes when I came up in '99.
Now he's not poised. He's taking calls. You got to be focused in this game.
He's currently on the phone with a PR firm.
He did a good interview.
Yeah.
Really good interview. I mean, between George Springer and Alex from University of Michigan, I don't know how we can top those interviews. Julia she's peaking early.
Yes, we're going to keep those in the vault when we need them.
Breaking ball away. It's 2-2. Anderson on second base with the RBI double. 9-4 Marlins.
You guys know too well. There's more to come.
Oh.
This is what spring training's all about.
Take that.
About the Alex in the outfield.
Oh, meanwhile, sneaking in behind the fence.
You look like you're in a little cubbyhole down there.
Yeah, I am actually. I had them build this platform though yesterday. I can't get on it. There's no staircase to get on top of it.
So they built a platform for you? That's how you roll?
It wasn't me really. It's for the camera.
Some call it a platform. Other people, it's a runway.
No, they, I mean, you know, we talk about this place opening up and they were putting the final touches on it. They built this platform with minutes to spare before first pitch. So photographers like ours could be up there. Also some still photographers, but this was not here.
So you're
minutes before yesterday's game.
You're not able to actually, there's no space for you to get up there?
Well, I could hop on a chair or two.
No, that's all right.
No, don't do that. Be careful.
No, you've done enough today.
Yeah.
The hill out there was, y'all almost lost me.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that steep?
It's pretty steep.
So you can understand why Alex would have lost his footing going for
Absolutely.
Okay. He didn't want. You gave him the out, and he just said it was my lack of athletic ability.
He was a great interview.
I think the footwear is a little bit different too. Julia is working with a little bit different.
You know how hard it is to walk downhill in wedges? You guys know.
There you go. Those are not wedges. Those are a perfectly good pair of sneakers that he blew out on.
We already have your brow liner. We don't need wedges up here.
No.
We're good.
You do need cowboy boots.
That is true. We need the boots.
That's going to be a recurring theme, I believe. There's a strikeout. So Jordan Jankowski ends up striking out 2 in the inning, but the Marlins do what they've been doing all day, is score a run in the inning. It's now 9-4 Fish. 9-4 in favor of the Miami Marlins over the Astros. So we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. And now it is time for our What a Play, What a Burger, What a Play presented by Whataburger. How about this? Alex from University of Michigan.
Oh, I can't get enough. That's great. A in effort, F in execution.
Our Whataburger, What a Play. And now their day is over. Guys from University of Michigan on spring break leave with a baseball.
And a pretty good story to tell.
An interview from Julia and a great story to tell.
That is a great story.
The fact that he threw the shades away before the attempt made the whole. No, that was the best part to me.
That was amazing.
It's like he was ready.
And
threw
said,
the
here's
shades
my
away.
opportunity.
This is my time to shine. And just could not keep the balance. Here we go into the bottom of the 8th. We have ourselves a 9-4 game. We have A.J. Reed getting his second AB. He walked his first plate appearance. And he sends one in the air to center field. Galloway going back, still going back to the wall, leaping, gone, home run, A.J. Reed. The big DH hits a home run the opposite way. And now it's a 9-5 game.
Wind aided or not, that's good to see A.J. Reed getting the barrel of the baseball and driving it the other way. I think that's where his swing will play best, is going up the middle the other way. He got tied up a little bit towards late in the season with fastballs in, but if he's able to get extended like he did right here and elevate, he's given himself an opportunity.
So the Astros pick up their first home run of the afternoon as A.J. Reed hits one out the opposite way. Our theme continues with home runs to left or left center.
You ain't lying.
And now the batter is the catcher, Tyler Heineman.
Something to be said for confidence, too. I know he's going to go back there. Guys in the dugout are be, oh, that was wind blown. You got jammed. You didn't get that one good. But you know what? At the end of the day, nobody caught it. It's a home run. It's a hit.
Ground out to the right side retires Heineman. And there's one out. Hey, good to see A.J. get on the home run board. We saw Carlos Beltran hit one out yesterday. Max Stassi also has a home run for the Astros. Houston has hit 3 home runs on the spring. Unfortunately, they have allowed 11 to this point, including 3 today by the Miami Marlins. Jonathan Singleton, the batter. Scott Copeland in his second inning of work. Copeland's allowed 4 runs. Thrown 26 pitches so far. Don Mattingly getting him a second inning of work. We saw the starter, Tom Kohler, pitch 2 innings. Edinson Volquez pitched 2 innings. Kohler allowed a run. Volquez did not. Dustin McGowan looked good while he was in there. Scott Copeland on for his second inning of work. Brian Ellington also pitched a scoreless inning for the Marlins. Ground ball right side. Singleton will be retired. He's now 0 for 2. A couple of ground outs on the right side. And there's 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. In case you're wondering who might be in the lineup tomorrow for the Houston Astros, we'll be back on the air with our pregame show beginning at 11:30. Game time will be 12:05. That'll be standard here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Expected to start as a catcher is the gentleman you saw earlier in this inning, Tyler Heineman, but Yuli Gurriel should be at first. We should see Jose Altuve back in there at second. Alex Bregman's going to get a start at shortstop. J.D. Davis will be at third. Josh Reddick, George Springer, Jake Marisnick from left to right in the outfield, and Carlos Beltran will DH. Ground ball right side. After the home run by Reed, 3 ground balls gets Copeland out of the inning. That was Andrew Applin's first at bat as he grounds out to end the bottom half of the 8th. On we go to inning number 9 from West Palm Beach. It is Miami 9, Houston 5. Ninth inning baseball. New pitcher for the Houston Astros with the Marlins leading 9-5 is 27-year-old right-hander Tyson Perez. Tough year for Tyson last year with that elbow surgery, Tommy John. You can see what he did in the 2011-15 seasons as the Astros minor leagues. 17th round pick by the Astros in 11. This will be his first spring training appearance of his career. Had not been in a spring training camp prior to this year. He did pitch in one game earlier this spring, but his first full spring training camp at the big league level. So Perez comes on for the ninth.
Now batting a designated hitter number 52, Moises Sierra.
Tyson grew up in the city of Hanford, California. Went to Hanford High School, basketball, football, and baseball player, but he grew up on a ranch. And in the media guide, it says one of his hobbies is team roping. Julia, have you witnessed that?
Have I witnessed it? No, but if you follow any of these guys on social media, you would have seen video of this happening in the clubhouse. What I mean by that is Javier Bracamonte, the bullpen catcher, was dressed as a cow.
What?
No way.
True story.
He was dressed as a cow?
I'm going to back it up for 1 second. AT Hinch, in his team meetings all spring long, especially the rookies, he really tries to get them out of their comfort zone a little bit, shares a secret that nobody knew. He does a lot of homework before the spring training begins. So it was Tyson Perez's day. He obviously brought that fact up, and Tyson said, yeah, I'm pretty good at it. I've got some skills. So they proved it. A couple days later, a cow costume was purchased. Javier Bracamonte put it on, and in the team meeting, Braca took off, scurrying across the clubhouse floor, and Tyson had his rope and lassoed him in. Or I'm not great with my roping terms yet.
I think lassoing is good.
And he did it several times.
Several times.
Yeah, several times.
Took off.
It was very successful.
Dude,
and the clubhouse went nuts, as you can imagine.
Did you get video of this yourself?
I saw it. It was Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, all the guys that have been around for a while. They're on Instagram, Twitter. You can see it on their accounts.
Oh, that's
just
great.
Little snippets of the video. But then I had to hear the story later, obviously, and it's a good one. Tony Kemp said they played together, and in the minors, this is exactly what you do, right? You teach your teammates how to rope cattle.
Oh my
so
goodness,
Tony's
that's
actually
impressive.
got a little bit of skills when it comes to this stuff because of Tyson.
Bracamonte wore a cow costume.
I was going to say, what's more impressive, that you've got a guy who can lasso an animal or a human on your team, or a guy who is willing to put on a cow costume?
I mean, I wish we had the video.
And dart around what in the world?
Share. It's good stuff.
Barnes unloads one, fair or foul. Foul, says CB Bucknor. That was well struck, but pulled a little bit foul up against the Astros front office.
I'm going to have to make a phone call and see if we can reenact the lassoing of Javier Bracamonte as you look at this one going deep to left.
You're going to see rodeo soon.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll match up with
you may be disappointed. If you watch that video and then go to the real thing. We talked about it yesterday. Blummer is attending his first rodeo later this month. Today's March 1st. Yeah.
Are they not going to let me in even if I have tickets and I don't wear boots?
Julia?
That's going to be the question. I'm a little nervous about it now. I'm going to have to break in my boots at the rodeo.
Julia, will they let him in without boots?
Say it one more time.
Would they let Blummer into a rodeo without boots?
Yeah, I've got tickets, but no boots.
They will. Unfortunately, they'll let you in.
Will he be?
I don't make the rules.
Will he stand out?
I'll get scoffed at, laughed at, pointed at.
Maybe. That's no different than any other day for you, right?
Yes, thank you, Julia.
Called third strike. Nice pitch by Tyson Perez.
Somebody's comfortable down there.
I am, actually.
Yeah, it sounded like you tuned us out for a few seconds there during that.
Yeah, you woke her up.
Meanwhile, the guy they call Tea Time also, Tyson Perez, picks up a couple straight. Yeah, Tea Time. Or they call him Time now. It went from Tea Time. That was his nickname when he was a kid. Now it's just Time.
Because?
Well, because one of his coaches called him tea time, and nobody calls him Tyson. Anybody who grew up with him in California just calls him Time.
Huh.
Not Tyson. His coach called him tea time, one of his coaches, and shortened it to Time.
Like T-E-A time or T-E-E?
T, the letter.
Oh, just
it could work for Jim Crane and others as T-E-E time. Carl Pavano.
Yeah.
We lost him after the 4th inning. He may have had a tea time. But no, we were happy to have him in the booth. Thanks to Carl. Thanks to Jim Crane in the 3rd inning. Thanks to A.J. Hinch in the 2nd inning. 9-5 Marlins. We have needed all our special guests today because the Astros have not had too many highlights, although the bottom of the 7th didn't go so poorly with a 3-run 7th.
It seems like the guests that we have had have been very prepared to be on air with us. They've done a great job.
I mean, you have those 3 in the booth. Well, AJ was on the field. And then you have George Springer in the dugout. Phenomenal interview with Julia. And then Alex from Michigan. That's a full day right there.
Chiquita Banana Man.
Chiquita Banana Man, who's left the building, so they can't take a shot of him anymore. But you may see him on a highlight or 2 tonight. Stay tuned.
Yeah, set the DVR. He's going to be around.
3-1 the count to Destin Hood. And he fouls one. It's 3-2. Nine runs, 10 hits for the Marlins, 5 runs, 7 hits for the Astros. We'll see the Washington Nationals again tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Astros will be the home team against their complex mates. That'll be Brad Peacock on the mound for the Houston Astros. Also expected to see Luke Gregerson tomorrow. Swing and a miss. Striking out the side. Time. Tyson Perez. How about that cowboy? Pitching a 1-2-3-9, striking out the side. We head to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Big Astros logo here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Ended up being a very nice day, at least weather-wise, on the field for the Astros. They have never led in this game. Marlins took a 1-0 lead, made it 4-0 in the second. Astros scored a run in the bottom of the second to make it 4-1. Miami would score runs in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Astros scored 3 in the 7th and 1 in the 8th. It's a 9-5 game as we head to the bottom half of the 9th inning. J.D. Davis will lead off, and the new pitcher he will face out of Purdue University is Nick Wickred, 25-year-old.
Big right-hander, got some time last year with these Miami Marlins, making an appearance in 48 games, had 51 2/3 innings pitched. Had a whip right around 1.
Gotta appreciate the effort from Don Mattingly and his bench coach Tim Wallach as Davis fouls one back to the screen. Not only do they put the lineup in, they put in every guy that's going to replace the starter in their spot in the order, and then they told you exactly which pitchers were coming in order. Sometimes it's a little bit of a hodgepodge, and today the Astros had a plan and it didn't always work out. You had to bring in guys that weren't expected to pitch. That happens, but we appreciate the Marlins' efficiency in getting us their information today as they put up a big 9 spot against Astros pitching until Tyson Perez came on. Like, till time came on in the 9th inning, no Astros pitcher had pitched a scoreless inning. 2/3 of a scoreless outing for Trent Thornton. But how about Tyson Perez striking out the side?
Oh, tea time. Got it done.
Got it done. There might have been a tea time waiting for him, but a little too late.
Maybe that's why, because he pitches like he has a tea time.
There you go.
Kind of like Mark Burley. We saw him a couple years ago. He pitched a game. It was an hour and 45 minutes, and they asked him, you know, what were you thinking out there? And he goes, well, I had concert tickets tonight to go see. I can't remember the guy who's going to see or the act, but it might have been Tim McGraw that was in town. And I mean, as soon as he got the ball back, he was coming forward to throw the next pitch. It was amazing.
Even fast for his standards.
Yeah, and literally like 30 seconds after the game was over, he was giving his interview. Hair was wet, and he's like, "I got to go. Tim McGraw is going to hit the stage here in like 10 minutes."
So good.
Hey, wherever the incentive is, use it.
Never needed a pitch clock with that guy on the mound.
No, getting his number retired this year in Chicago too.
Congrats for that. Mark Burley, one of the great guys in the game. 3-2 is the count to J.D. Davis. Walked his first plate appearance, stays alive. Facing Whitgren. So is Kohler, Volquez, McGowan, Ellington, Copeland, and now Whitgren, the pitchers for the Miami Marlins. So they have used 6 pitchers. The Astros today used 8. On the ground, right side, Perez almost came out of the webbing of his glove, but he makes the play, 1 away.
For those of you that use social media, Tyson Perez, we talked about his abilities to lasso. The Corpus Christi Hooks have just tweeted me a video of Tyson Perez roping, I believe, Delino DeShields.
Really?
On video on my Twitter feed. So if you go to @Blummer27, you will see that the Corpus Christi Hooks have actually sent a video to me of Tyson Perez in action lassoing Delino DeShields.
So Bracamenti is not the first one to be lassoed by him.
No, and Delino DeShields is much quicker than a Javier Bracamani in a cow suit. So I'm giving all kinds of credit to Tyson Perez. That's a pretty good lasso.
No cow suit involved with Delino?
No.
Still good video, though. Here's Jack Mayfield. Mayfield with a base hit, RBI, in his only spring training at bat to this point. Also scored a run. So he's batting 1,000. He has a run scored. He has an RBI. Actually, he has 2 runs scored. He scored a run earlier this spring as a pinch runner. Fouls one back.
It is an entire promotional video about Tyson Perez and his ability to lasso.
So he plays into this pretty well, huh?
I'll tell you what, Corpus Christi, for a minor league organization, does a phenomenal job of promoting their team, their players, the stadium, the whole. I mean, it is a production that they put on down there, and they take advantage of the guys that are coming through there. In the last couple of years, you've got to admit, as far as prospects and characters, they have gotten plenty of those guys floating through there over the last couple of years.
Mayfield strikes out. Whitgren picks up his first strikeout. Now the Astros are down to their final out in the bottom half of the 9th inning. That was the scene of the crime. No yellow tape around, but that is where our boy Alex from University of Michigan went down, chasing a home run off the bat of Isaac Galloway.
Arborists were up in arms trying to protect that tree.
Tony Kemp tries to keep the game alive, but coming on to make the play is the aforementioned Galloway, and that will do it for this game as the Miami Marlins led from the start and win it by the final score of 9-5. The Marlins now 2-3 on the spring. The Astros now, having lost 2 straight games here in the ballpark of the Palm Beaches, also 2-3 on the spring. We will have more as we come back after this from West Palm Beach.